handoff up the middle again. Peterson's got some room up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
It's time for high school sports on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE Channel. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Les Schwab Tires, and Sangster Motors. Now, let's go to live coverage of high school sports on the NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station.
Panthers win the district championship.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Wildcat Stadium. Along with Grant Olson, I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCWLIFE Channel as we bring you live football, which we haven't been able to do for several weeks. Thankfully, you see we're wearing sweatshirts. Fall is actually here, Grant. We've got the Eastmont Wildcats taking on the Eisenhower Cadets. It's senior night here tonight. It's also Catch Cancer night here tonight, so a special night all the way around.
I love all the pink around the arena tonight, the stadium. It looks fantastic, but going back to weather, which, you know, I always do, 57 our high today, but that's normal. We're talking that we're kind of chilly out here tonight, but we're actually normal for this time of year.
Yeah, we've gone from, the last time we were in a booth, it was 80-some degrees, and now just 3 weeks later, here we are in the 50s, and it feels like football.
It really does. This is the way it's supposed to feel, and I'm ready for it.
Well, and the Eastmont Wildcats ready for the night tonight against a team coming in with a record of 1-6. They're 1-4 in the Big Nine. Eastmont 3-3 overall. They're 3-1 in the Big Nine. They still have an outside chance at maybe getting up in that upper echelon as far as the playoffs are concerned. But you got to take care of business here tonight.
And this would make their season. Beating a team like Eastmont, that would make their entire season, playoffs or not. And we saw them play a few weeks ago in Wenatchee. They turned the ball over a lot. If they can kind of control that a little bit, maybe they can stay in this one. But this is a big game for Eisenhower tonight. They're trying to get this program rebuilt. It's been a long time coming, and they're still in the process.
Yeah, they've got some talented players. We'll talk about that as we continue on the pregame show. Also on the pregame show, we're going to talk with Michael Dawn, an extended interview. I had a chance here just a few hours ago to sit down in his office with him. He's a little walking wounded right now. He's got a back that's out, and so he's dealing with that. But we're also going to talk about these seniors, and think about that, Grant, what this class has been through with COVID, with a season that was wiped away, a spring football season. They've been through a lot.
You know, we were talking about it walking down here for this, that they had practices mostly indoors, where most schools are out there with regular practice. That makes a gigantic difference. It's not contact, and you have to have that out on the field, and you have to have a field to really, you know, execute what you want to do in the game. So that's a huge disadvantage.
It is, and you look behind us here, and you have a green backdrop here, and you have no walls. Now you go inside and you practice every day inside on a basketball court. It screws with your head.
I think Coach Don is right. It is a huge disadvantage, but what do? I guess what's the solution to that when it's a Mother Nature event? So they're going to have to play through it, I guess. But this is a pretty disciplined team with a very disciplined coach, so I'm sure they'll be fine. But, boy, you got to think about it. That's for sure.
We'll talk X's and O's coming up. We also have Michael Dawn on the pregame show and a special message from the Chief Executive Officer of the NFHS, Dr. Carissa Nyhoff, about being kind to officials. And this is something that's going around the nation, and we're really having a significant problem with finding enough officials to do these games.
And it's not just here. I watch the Spokane News once in a while in the morning. They're having that same issue over there for GSL games. So it's statewide, and a lot of it is because of what you just mentioned. So I think we can all do better in that regard.
Yeah, last night Wenatchee had to play in Sunnyside. Sunnyside uses Tri-Cities officials, and because of that fact, they had to play on a Thursday night.
That makes a huge difference, and there's another disadvantage in a way too, but we need more officials. We'll talk about that too.
We'll take a break and come back. It's senior night here at Wildcat Stadium, where the Eastmont Wildcats take on the Eisenhower Cadets. More on the pregame show coming up next.
You can accompany your family members.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Welcome back here on the pregame show along with Grant Olson. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE Channel. As they have the parents, they have the players lining up behind us here to get ready for senior night. They're recognizing 14 senior players as well as a manager here tonight. And Grant, I think back on how fast high school goes by and that senior year, and you realize, holy cow, this is our last home game.
And this makes it set in. This makes it real for sure. I've got a senior at Eastmont High School for homecoming. We were down here, and it really sets in at the time that they're done. They're there. This is it. So without getting emotional, it is tough. It really is. But it's a special night for these kids and parents.
Well, and also, for Eastmont, they lost a game. They lost a home game. It should have been Skyline, should have been here last Friday. They ended up trying to play it on the road. They lose out on that. We talk about the competitive disadvantage of 6 weeks of smoke, 6 weeks of playing inside, practicing inside, only 6 practices outside, and then you get a team that's in the Yakima Valley that doesn't have smoke at all.
Well, I got a question for you too, though. Pros, when they have a week off, they enjoy that to heal up. What does a week off do to a high school team in the middle of a season? Is that an advantage, do you think, for younger kids, or do they need to keep playing week after week after week?
Well, part of it, and we'll hear from Michael Don about that coming up, about these seniors specifically and all they've been through with COVID, with season wiped out, with everything written in pencil and dry erase rather than putting it in ink, that they've just been now accustomed to just rolling with the flow.
There's no doubt this senior class had a high school like no other. That's for sure, going back to their sophomore year in high school. So they've put up with a lot. They've endured a lot, like you said. So they just have to live with one more thing, I guess.
Well, as far as Eastmont's concerned, it's been the ground game that has been key, as it usually is with Eastmont High School. They've thrown the ball a little bit, had some success with that, but it's on the ground. It's about Gunnar Peterson. It's about Colby King. It's about Austin Ruffins, and I expect a lot of that here tonight.
Eric, we are going to see a huge dose of ground attack for Eastmont tonight. I think we'll see Luke Gale throw a few passes to mix it up a little bit, but boy, it's going to be a steady attack of all those guys you just mentioned.
Now, as far as Eisenhower is concerned, as you mentioned, we saw him against Wenatchee here a few weeks ago, and that quarterback they've got, Moses Spurrier, he's not very big, but he's athletic and he can move the ball around.
And a lot of quick receivers to go along with him. I think that if Eisenhower can click on all 4 cylinders and keep the turnovers down, which was a huge problem against Wenatchee, they could be competitive in this game, but they've got to be playing their best football tonight.
Well, and Eastmont learned a hard lesson here at home, losing their homecoming game just a few weeks back. They don't want to lose another markable game being senior night here tonight.
Oh, and they had their chances in that game that night as well, so they don't want to miss their opportunities tonight, especially, as you said, on special night number 2 here.
So it's Eastmont and Eisenhower. We'll talk with Michael Don about the matchup. We'll also get a special message from the NFHS about officials and how we should treat them a lot better. It's all coming up here on the pregame show on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Our next senior, number 23, Oliver.
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
Pre-game show continues here on the NCWLIFE Channel as we get ready for Eastmont and Eisenhower. It is senior night, talking with Michael Don. We didn't talk about this last time I spoke to you, before you hoped to be playing against Skyline. You're dealing with a little back issue. It's not a little back issue, as I know about that. How are you coming?
plugging along, limping along. It comes with, I guess, the old age. I try not to think that I'm very old because I'm not 40 yet. I'm getting close, but I got a sciatic and a pinched disc. So 2 weeks of limping and just hoping it straightens out eventually.
So if you see Mike going up and down the sidelines or finding a seat on the bench periodically, you'll know why that's going on. How tough is that roller coaster when you're getting ready to play a very good team in Skyline and then doesn't happen?
It was a bummer. We were kind of, I was staring at nothing but smoke all day, hoping, praying it was going to happen. And, when it didn't, I was disappointed that we didn't have, anything else we could do. We tried, but we just couldn't make it work. And it's a bummer, more for the seniors. Just losing another game. These kids have been through a ridiculous amount in their careers. I mean, we're looking at it and we're we didn't even realize it's been 6 weeks of this now. We've had 6 outdoor practices in 6 weeks. This week, none. The Wenatchee week, none. This all started right before Timberline. We had a smoke day, and usually it's in and out and gone. And then you add on, they had to deal with COVID last year, COVID shortened season. Just been a rough career of ups and downs for these kids. They've had to deal with the gauntlet of everything, and I'm super impressed and proud of those guys and what they've been able to accomplish, even though they've had all that stuff. The West Side had some smoke this week, and their coaches are singing the blues because they had a day or two in the gym, and I'm sitting there going, oh, try 6 weeks of it. And these kids are doing the best they can, and we've been trying to make it fun as we can, and it's really hard, but proud of our kids so far.
Well, and it is senior night tonight, and the seniors being recognized before the ball game here. For those seniors, lifelong lessons and all they've had to tuck and roll with. I expect some pretty good things out of these guys after all they've been through.
Absolutely. They're learning you control what you can control, and you make out of it what you make out of it. And if they walk out of here and still feel like they had a fun career and they had a good time and they got better as football players and people, then I think they accomplished a lot for, everything they had to deal with.
Let's talk about Eisenhower tonight. They come in just one win on the season. It's one of those on paper. You guys should take care of business here tonight. But paper is one thing and on the field is something else.
They're extremely young and talented. They got a really good sophomore group. They start 7 sophomores on offense. They don't play a ton of seniors. They've got, I think, 5 seniors that start for them. 2 of them start both ways, but they do a good job. They play really hard, and they're just going through their youth bumps and bruises. But they're gonna be a tough team, and you can see it on film sometimes where they hang around with some good teams. And they make it competitive. They don't just get beat on, and they don't get just dominated off the field. They just they stick around, and you see some of that from them. And I'm impressed with what they've done with that young group, and I think they're going to be real good in the next couple of years.
Yeah, a lot of sophomores in their starting lineup, and there's a lot of 5'8" kids out there. You look across their roster, and a lot of 5'8". So that number 6 kind of stands out as a big kid, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, outside of number 6, they look a lot like us. A lot of real short kids running around, but they get after it, and they're going to do a good job. And we're ready to go. Our kids are excited to get back on the field. I think having a week off has made our kids hungry for this one.
Now let's talk about your club and coming into this health-wise. I know you've had some dings here and there. You've had some head issues going on. How are you coming into this?
Good. We got a lot of guys back. A couple are still kind of dinged up, and we don't know if we'll see Sammy Garcia again this year. Sammy Shu Garcia, he's was a staple at safety for us, played all the time, and unfortunately he had an injury to his hand, and he hasn't been cleared. And we have Kellen Leonard, who's getting close. He's kind of battling that ankle, and we're hoping he'll get back soon. He's probably could go tonight, but I don't think he will because he didn't get a full week of practice. And then, we got a couple guys that are out, and, hopefully we'll be all right. But, guys have stepped up and into those roles, and they've done a good job.
We've got a special message coming up next here on the pregame show from the NFHS regarding officials and the abuse of officials and how they're trying to curb that. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that as far as officials are concerned. I mean, you guys don't have games if you don't have the guys in the stripes out there.
Absolutely. And that's the hard part is, everybody wants to get on officials like it's their full-time job. But, even as a coach, this isn't my full-time job. This is what I do for fun. It's what I enjoy doing around kids. I got another job that pays the bills, and this one is just something I enjoy doing, and it's something I will always do. But these guys, they come out, they help the best they can. They're doing the best they can. And, when I was young, I was probably a lot harder on officials than I probably should have been. And then as I've gotten older, I've kind of looked at it from a different perspective of, I'm just thankful we have them. There's teams that are playing on, there's a varsity game on a Wednesday this year because that's the only night they could get an official. And there's just, they're scrambling around, putting guys in, doing the best they can. We have about half as many officials as we had even 5 years ago. And, we've got to keep those guys involved. We got to get more people involved. And we got to be thankful that they're there and, not so much worried about how they do. They're trying their best. It's more focused on the fact that they are there. And if you think you can do a better job, we'd love to have you out there because we got a giant shortage.
Well, and everybody's watching you and how you react with the officials. It's not just your players, but it's also your assistant coaches up and down the line. They're watching you, and so you got to set that tone, don't you?
Absolutely. Sometimes you question things and you ask some questions, and that's part of the game. Is you got to ask questions and you got to get clarification on things, and you're not always going to agree on it, and they're going to miss calls, and you're going to think they missed calls that you watch on film later, and they didn't miss the call, and that's just the nature of the game. And this year, I thought that the conversations have been good, and the relationships are growing, and I enjoy the guys we have in this valley.
Well, and one thing you'll see during our broadcast too is that it may take them a while to get the decision on a particular, if a flag is laying on the field, they get together, they talk about it. They're also trying to do the best they can with each call that they make. Absolutely.
They communicate and they say, well, this is what I thought I saw. And they're like, well, this is what I saw. And they kind of make sure. And they're trying to do a good job. So you'll see flags waved off. You'll see, things changed and that's just the nature of the beast. And you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to think they're right all the time, but it's not going to change by getting upset. So move on and try to do something else.
Well, Mike, best of luck here tonight. Keep everybody healthy.
Thank you very much.
All right. You'll enjoy senior night, as we will as well. And that special message from the NFHS coming up next as we continue on the pregame show next here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. Yet our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
I'm Carissa Niehoff, CEO of the National Federation of State High School Associations. Bad behavior by parents and other fans at high school sporting events is out of control, and the NFHS has declared that enough is enough. We've seen fans coming out of the stands to attack referees and parents yelling obscenities at officials, and fans tracking down officials after games to hurl insults and even physical objects on occasion. This kind of unacceptable behavior continues to drive away men and women from serving as officials. Understandably, Why would anyone who is trying to do their best to help high school students participate in sports want to be yelled at, or worse yet, assaulted? Can you imagine trying to do your job on a daily basis while someone continues to verbally insult you? To help fans act their age, the NFHS has started a nationwide campaign entitled Bench Bad Behavior. The goal is to put this bad behavior on the bench. Toolkits are available for schools to download materials to proactively address bad behavior at high school athletic events. We want officials to be respected so that sports can continue to be a part of our nation's schools. Right now, games are being canceled because of a critical shortage of officials. And the main reason for this nationwide shortage is people are behaving horribly at high school sporting events. This must stop. Coaches, parents, and others attending high school games, it is time to step up your game. Let the officials do their job so that the millions of high school student athletes can play their sports. Be a true fan and not a fanatic, and be respectful of those individuals working as high school officials. Let's turn this negative behavior into a more positive direction for the future of high school sports in our country. Let's have our excitement fuel enjoyment of sports, especially for our kids.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Welcome back once again here to Eastmont High School at the Wildcat Stadium, along with Grant Olson. I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCWLIFE Channel as we get ready for football here tonight. And we've got the band coming out onto the field to lead the way here for the football team. And I see Eisenhower across the way. They're coming in from the locker room. And a perfect time for us to give you our starting lineups. And it's sponsored by TC Slingers. Let TC Slingers save you time, money, and labor with their conveyor application. Call for your free estimate today at 509-885-2269. TC Slingers of Wenatchee, your landscape placement company. Started off with the Eastmont Wildcat offense up front, of course, where it always begins at tackle Ernie Villa, 5'8", 212-pound junior. The right guard next to him is Damian Arellano, a 6', 220-pound junior. The center, Gabriel Arizmendi, who is a 5'7", 247-pound senior. One of 3 seniors on the offensive line here on senior night for Eastmont. Andrew Swan, the left guard, a 5'9", 245-pound senior. He'll be rotating with Armando Farias at guard for Eastmont. Swan will find himself on the defensive line as well. Gale Gonzalez is the left tackle. He's a 5'8", 236-pound senior. So pretty good size up front for the Eastmont Wildcats. The Backfield includes, of course, Luke Gale, a 6'2", 170-pound junior. He is at quarterback. The tailback is Gunnar Peterson, a 5'8", 173-pound junior. The wingbacks are Colby King, a 5'9", 163-pound senior, and Austin Ruffins, watch for him, a 6'1", 172-pound senior. The wideouts for Eastmont, Adrian Ruffins, a 6'4", 180-pound junior, and Jackson West, a 5'11", 176-pound sophomore. Meanwhile, the defense for the Eisenhower Cadets, as announced by their head coach, Gary Jimenez, he's assisted by Jared Dobby, Adam Wright, Christian McDonald, Isaac Cunningham, Sam Thornhang, Noe Baria, also Ryan Pastor, Kyle Lundgren, and a host of others. Up front, the nose guard, Daniel Machuca. He's a 5'11", 220-pound, just a sophomore at the nose guard position. The tackles, Antonio Nahar, a 5'8", 210-pound junior, and Shoshone Justice, one of the greatest names in high school football, at 5'10", 175 pounds. He's a junior. The linebackers on the inside, David Aguilar, a 5'6", 170-pound senior, and Caleb Cornell. He's one of the biggest kids you'll see on the field. He wears number 6, and you can't miss him. He's 6'3", 215, and he's a junior. Outside linebackers, Easton Green and Eddie Herrera. The corners are Javon Davis and Nehemiah Garcia. The safeties are Grayson Sartain and Mark Stevens. That's the offense and defense for one side. We'll do the others as we get ready for kickoff, as we have the captains assembling. We have also the teams assembling for the national anthem, and we'll take a break and come back and get you ready for kickoff. It's on the way next here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Don't stress, just save up to $250 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
And welcome back once again. Eastmont Band doing a great job with our national anthem here prior to tonight's ball game, along with Grant Olson, Eric Granstrom here on the NCWLIFE Channel. As we bring you high school football, Grant, it's hard to believe 2 weeks left after this, so the regular season.
Well, we've missed so many games. It just has flown by, you're right.
No, it certainly has. Captain's about ready to come out on the field here. The officials, by the way, for tonight's ball game from the Chelan County Officials Association, Mike Penning is our referee. Zachary Kirshner is the umpire. Head linesman is Craig Still. The line judge is Nathan Hahn. And the back judge is Kelly Campbell. It's the captain's approach to center field. And for the Eastmont Wildcats, they are Austin Ruffins, Luke Gale, Gunnar Peterson, Andrew Swan, as well as Gail Gonzalez. Meanwhile, for Eisenhower, Nehemiah Garcia, Javon Davis, David Aguilar, and Mark Stevens. So the captains are out, and they'll get their instructions after greeting one another. And
Can I give a shout out to
Please do.
Junior Christian Nevers?
Yes.
Out here playing the trumpet during the national anthem. You know why? Because I used to do that. I would jump up on the stage during basketball national anthem and play the baritone.
No kidding.
Yes, for the
That's
national
awesome.
anthem. So I was seeing him do that. God, that brings me back to my days.
Wearing his uniform
That's
out there,
right.
ready for football.
Big time props to him.
Taking care of business with the trumpet in hand. I was a trumpet player. So.
Multifaceted.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I told this when Paul was up here on the broadcast with me that in high school they made us choose. You do sports or you do band. You can't do both.
Really?
And I thought that was the biggest crime. It was a crime against a kid.
In my little school, we couldn't do that.
Yeah, you'd have none either way.
No.
Looks like Eastmont has won the toss, and they will elect to receive, and so that will be it. And I guessed right on the lineup here for TC Slinger starting lineups. How about that?
You did.
Yeah, hard to believe just a couple of weeks left for Eastmont, including tonight. And then the crossover, and that is as clear as mud is how that works. It's a new system with the playoffs this year, and it looks like Wenatchee nor Eastmont are going to be home for those crossover games. So we've got next week, and that's it, looks like, for our broadcast schedule for high school football here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
And that's going to be a tough game, too, West Valley.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're about ready for kickoff here. As for the Eisenhower Cadets, let's see who they bring out to kick it off. I think it's going to be that big fella I was talking about, Caleb Cornell. He is 6'3", 215 pounds. There you see him. He wears number 6. He's a big kid.
He is.
And he can put his foot into it, too. He might put it in towards the end zone here. Back to receive the kickoff. Colby King, watch for him. He wears number 40, and Peyton Guest wears number 2. So we're about ready for football here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel. Fall is in the air. October well into it, and finally feels like football weather, Grant.
It really does. You know, it just didn't seem the same when we were sweating in the booth and we had shorts. And
well, and then the smoke and all the mess we had. Here's the opening kickoff. Right footer will put it into it, and this is going to skipper along the near sideline and go out of bounds, and that's the longest penalty in high school football.
Really
25-yard penalty from where they kick it off back the other way. So Eastmont will have it at its own 35-yard line to start the ball game.
I'd love to see Eastmont come out and go deep on this first play from scrimmage. Just something a little bit different. Yeah,
well, senior night, why not shake it up a little bit? So Eastmont will have it first down and 10 from its own 35-yard line. They'll go right hash mark with it. Again, Luke Gale, the junior quarterback, will line them up here. And they will go 2 receivers wide left and no tailback. So are they going to go? No, they aren't. It's just a keeper up the middle for Luke Gale. He gets 3 yards before he stood up. And guess who? That big number 6 we were talking about, Caleb Cornell, on the tackle.
That's the old Buffalo Bills play right there. You just run Josh Allen in between the guard and tackle and see what you can get.
No, they got it out to the 39, so gain of 4 yards on first down. Why not?
Right.
If they're going to give it to you. And you'll look out there and you'll see the diminutive size of the defensive line. This throws a little bit too high for West on the flat. He had enough probably for the first down had the ball been thrown a little bit lower. Luke Gale coming into the ballgame tonight, 38 of 72 for 601 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Eastmont's never really been known for slinging the ball around the yard. They like to keep it on the ground.
But 1,500 yards, Eric, on the ground for this team this season.
Yes.
I don't think any other team can touch that in the Big Nine.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Sunnyside likes to throw the ball, and Moses Lake might be close, but they're pretty balanced between run and pass. High snap over Luke Gale's head. He's going to have to scramble for this one. Throws it out in the flat and threw it away as he's belted down to the ground. Coming up and hitting him was Shoshone Justice. And, well, that's have to go back to the playbook because they'll have to punt this football away, Grant.
Not the way the Wildcats wanted to start this football game, that's for sure. So miscues, just not the way they wanted to kick things off tonight.
No, definitely not. So, and that's the thing that struggles in that we talked at length about practicing indoors. Special teams. You don't get a lot of chances to practice special teams inside. Snap back to Luke Gale. Here's the punt. End over end. Short will be taken on the run at the 30, 35, and that is about all for the return man Oldenkamp, as he'll bring it back about 7 yards on the return. But pretty good field position here for Eisenhower on their first possession of the football game.
Good play by Damian Arellano on special teams for the Wildcats, too. The junior down there quickly and made that initial hit.
So under a minute has ticked off the clock here in the opening possession of the ball game. Ike will get it at its own 36-yard line. Give us a chance to talk about the big guys up front. So Bryson Chase, Kanan Gutierrez, Davian Taylor, Elijah Heringa, and Henry Hodge. That's the offensive line for Moses Spurrier, a 5'1", 180-pound sophomore. Back to pass on the first down. Throwing out the flat, the ball nearly picked off. Good job of coverage downfield by Peyton Guest. Looking for a pick as he had good coverage on the wide receiver that time. It was Oldenkamp, the intended receiver. Incomplete, brings up second down.
He also had Graydon Schneider there to help him out from his safety position, so throwing into double coverage there for Spurrier.
Grayson Sartain is the tailback behind Moses Spurrier, the quarterback. The wideouts, they're pretty talented. Nehemiah Garcia, Javon Davis. Now a handoff, and up the middle goes Sartain, and he is quickly wrapped up like a Band-Aid by those red-jerseyed Eastmont Wildcats. And Lenhart was one of the first ones to get there. It'll be a loss of 2 yards back to the 34-yard line.
I think Lenhart was blitzing all the way that time. Shot the gap between the guard and center. An easy tackle.
They'll swap receivers one side to the other. Oldenkamp comes left as a slot back. The snap is back. The ball's loose, and Eastmont trying to cover it back there, and it's going to be Eastmont football. Praiser will cover it back at the 17-yard line. Just a miscommunication by Eisenhower offensively as the quarterback looked to the sideline for the play from the coach. The center snapped it, and oh my, big turnover here early.
And that is exactly what the Wildcats needed. Eric, you're exactly right. Miscommunication there as Spurrier wasn't even looking towards the center, and that's an easy turnover for the Wildcats. Can they convert on this turnover?
Well, they got it in golden field position here. They'll put the ball down at the 17 of Eisenhower as they'll get it with 10:37 to go here in this opening quarter of play. And a handoff, and not much going there for Eastmont as Gunnar Peterson was taken down for a loss on the play as Eisenhower was able to shoot the gap up front defensively. It was Shoshone Justice there again.
He's a player, that's for sure. Read that all the way. I think we have timeout.
And Michael Don wants to talk about things with his offense. He is not happy about what's happening up front for the offensive line. Our broadcast here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you in part by Abby's Pizza. For more than 50 years, Abby's has proudly served the Northwest with toppings to the edge, 100% real cheese and freshly rolled dough. Make it an Abby's Pizza night tonight.
Boy, Coach Don is giving that offense a tongue lashing out there.
Well, they have not looked so crisp.
No, they haven't been sharp at all.
Early going, and you know, they learned that earlier this season. You would think, anyway, that you can't overlook anybody.
No, you can't.
In the Big Nine. Michael Don, we talked to him in our pregame show about how he's kind of gimped up here with a bad back right now. Second down and long coming up, 12 yards from the 19. Turn, handoff, second man through is Peterson, and a much bigger push this time after that tongue lashing you were talking about, down to the 11-yard line, gain of 8.
Eddie Herrera in on the stop for Ike, but that's more of the running game we expect from Eastmont right there, and Gunnar Peterson.
That is their bread and butter. Well, it's a three-headed monster for Eastmont. So bread, butter, and a little garlic on top. How about that?
Right.
Third down, call about 4 yards to go here for Eastmont. And their second possession of the game, a handoff to Gunnar Peterson again. And he's spinning away from a man who's going to get down inside the 10 to the 5.
There was a push there after the play.
No flags come down. It is a first down for Eastmont. Peterson took it ahead for 6 yards down to the 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal from there. So Luke Gale comes over to the sideline to get the word of advice from his coach, Michael Don.
It's going to be a good battle tonight with Justice and Andrew Schwann there on the offensive line, having some words after that play. We'll have to keep our eye on those two.
Definitely so. Machuca up front, Antonio Nahar also for Eisenhower as they go with a three-man defensive front down lineman here on a first and goal for Eastmont. In motion is Ruffins. They'll hand it to him, run around the left side, and Ruffins will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Eastmont.
Touchdown, Wildcat. Eastmont
That, I'm sure, for Coach Michael Don, looks a little bit better than how things started.
That's how you get. That's Eastmont football right there. Yeah. You fake Peterson up the middle, give it to Ruffins around the outside, part of that wing T offense, and he just walked into the end zone. Nicely done by the whole offense that time.
Edgar Leon will try to tack on the extra point out of the hold of Graydon Schneider. The snap is back. Good snap. The spot down, the kick away, and it's good. We'll take a 60-second break, come back with 9:05 to go here in the first. Eastmont 7 and Ike nothing. You're watching Big 9 football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Edgar Leon ready for the kickoff here following the 4-play, 19-yard touchdown drive by Eastmont. Extra point makes it a 7-0 ball game, and Leon's kick goes into the end zone over the head of the return man Grayson Sartain down there. And so Sunnyside will have it first down at its own 20-yard line. Well, Grant, one of the big things you talked about for Eisenhower to have any success here tonight on the road, not turn the ball over.
That's
and
right.
What's the first thing to do is turn the ball over.
And the last time we saw them play against Wenatchee, they had 5 turnovers in that game, but we're still in it. 28-7, I believe, was the final of that game. So they did kind of make amends for those turnovers with their defense, but I don't know if they can do that against this kind of high-powered run game for Eastmont.
Yeah, 17-8 was the final.
Oh, was it 17-8?
Yeah, remember they had the 2-point safety at the end of the ball game.
That's right.
A botched punt attempt by Wenatchee. So first down at the 20-yard line. They'll put the ball between the hash marks here as their quarterback Moses Spurrier will try to right the ship a little bit here as he claps his hands, takes the snap, and then hands it off. And a good gain here by Sartain. And oh my, he bowls over the top of Schneider across the 30 to the 31. And you don't say that about any Schneider that's been in the history of this program. They find themselves looking up at the stars.
So let me ask you this. A year ago or 2 years ago, would that be lowering your head, using your helmet? I mean,
yes.
That was a penalty a year or two ago.
Yes, you are correct. And that could have been called. Gain of 11 yards, though, will give Sunnyside a first down over again. There was motion, but no call. Now scrambling around is Spurrier. He'll throw it up the sideline and throw it into the water bucket across the way. Incomplete. Brings up second down and 10 from the 31.
Good pressure that time by Eastmont and good penetration by Skylar Bryant, the defensive lineman, doing his job that time, flushing Spurrier out. Nobody open downfield.
Yeah, let's talk about the defense for Eastmont. Ricky Kalunga and Austin Padron are the man up front. Skylar Bryant and Connor Praser are the defensive ends. The corners, Seth Stone and Peyton Guest, will get you the linebackers and safeties coming up after this play. Second down and 10. A handoff up the middle, and oh my, meeting Jesus Villa was the running back. Sartain, should I say the other way around?
Right.
Sartain, say hello to number 11.
Just stood him up right there at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Third down.
Well, we talked about this a little bit, that Eisenhower tries to do a little bit on the ground, do a little bit on the air, and they're not really successful at any of it.
They just want to see what works, you know.
Third down and 10 coming up from the 31. Spurrier throws the ball, almost intercepted again. Opportunity for Tyson Mora, one of the safeties for Eastmont, and good job by the defense for the Wildcats as they'll turn a situation into a punt here for Eisenhower.
Coverage has been great so far early in this game by the defensive backs for Eastmont. Linebackers are doing their job as well.
Graydon Schneider will be the man back to return the punt here, and it will be off the foot of that big fella, Caleb Cornell, the 6'3", 215-pound junior. He's the biggest guy on Eisenhower's roster, I think.
Absolutely.
Big pressure.
Big
Got
pressure.
the high kick away. It's short and will bounce off.
That should be a penalty.
Yeah, there is a penalty.
They didn't give him room to even catch that, Eric.
Catch interference going to be called here on the play as the ball was finally downed at the 33-yard line. And that's a costly penalty. That's 15 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is, too.
So a pretty decent punt, and the pressure. There were 3 Wildcat defenders that have broke through the line of scrimmage and gave that punter everything he could do just to get that ball away.
Ironically, that was a better punt than the punt he had before that with no pressure.
Yeah, that's true. The official says, yeah, kick catch interference. And they'll mark it off from the end of the play. Not from, well, will they do it from the spot? I don't think that's a spot foul, is it? I don't have.
I think they're going to mark it off from the 45.
Okay. They are going to mark it from the 45. Yeah.
Boy, what a penalty this is.
That's 15 yards from the point of the foul. Wow. Wow. So that's our first penalty of the night. Boy, is it a costly one against Eisenhower for 15 yards. That'll give Eastmont first down at the Ike 40-yard line. 7:56 to go. Eastmont's third possession of the football game. Let's see what they have in mind here. They were known earlier this season for big plays. Can they break a big play here on first down and 10? Motion is Ruffins. Handoff to Peterson, trying to pick his way over the right side, but he's not going to find much ground there as Eisenhower does a good job defensively that time. Big number 58, Daniel Machuca, 5'11", 220-pound sophomore, comes through, makes a solid play after a gain of 2 yards.
3 players really stand out. Justice on that defense. Herrera, also a good player. And Machuca, you just mentioned. Those 3 have been in a lot of plays, and I expect them to be throughout the night.
They'll need an ice bath after this one.
Right.
Handoff, second man through. It's Colby King. Look out for that big play. And he gets through the man and gets all the way into the end zone for the touchdown from 38 yards. Explosive play for the Wildcats comes from Colby King, his 9th touchdown run of the season.
And I'll tell you what, that was all because of a big blowout block by Andrew Swan. In fact, he blocked his man all the way over onto the Eastmont sideline and then stood over him.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
That broke that whole thing open.
So a senior coming through with a big block on senior night to spring it for his fellow senior, Colby King. Takes it into the end zone from 38 yards out, 13-0, and Edgar Leon will try to tack on the extra point here. Leon also a senior, and he'll split the upright. 60-second break on the broadcast, 7:13 to go here in the first. Eastmont 14, Ike 0. You're watching Big Nine Football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Well, that drive took all of 2 plays and 43 seconds. Colby King with a 38-yard touchdown run. The extra point good. 14-0 Eastmont with 7:13 to go here in the first quarter. Edgar Leon's kickoff afterwards is going all the way to the end zone. Will bounce there and will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So again, Eisenhower will have it first down at their own 20-yard line with 7:13 to go here in this first quarter. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Biosports Physical Therapy. Find them online at wildsports.net, open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Got a National League Championship Game 3 score for you from Philly. Bottom of the 7th, it's the Phillies 4 and the Padres 2.
Ooh, okay. Making a little closer game on the Pods.
They're so evenly matched, those two teams. I really enjoy watching them play because they are, even though I'm a Dodger fan. Yeah.
So by essence, then, are you rooting for the Phillies?
No, not really.
No, okay.
No.
All right. Were you surprised if the Padres knocked off
I was
your Dodgers?
shocked. 111 wins this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything, does it?
Mariners 2001. Let's remember that.
Right.
So here's Moses Spurrier again. Got to throw out the flat, and the ball thrown a little bit too high for his intended receiver, Nehemiah Garcia. Pretty decent coverage downfield for Eastmont by Nez Shoemaker. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and it's kind of feeling, Grant, like, okay, let's try this.
Right. That's exactly what it is. 0 for 4 now for Moses Spurrier.
See, Spurrier, he gets everybody lined up, and then they go look over to the sideline, and all the linemen stand up. And so it can catch the defense a little bit off guard or pull them off sides. Again, Spurrier rolling out to his right, throwing incomplete. Brings up 3rd down. And you just look at the body posture of the Cadets already, down by 2 touchdowns, and I'm seeing some head down and some slumped shoulders already.
Excellent point, Eric. That's so true out there right now. Eastmont kind of, on their toes, ready to go, and just the opposite over there on the Cadet side.
They'll bring a tight end in. He will line up as kind of a slot back on the left, if you will. That's that big fella, Caleb Cornell. See if they go to the ground here, stay to the air. They will hand it off. No, Spurrier will keep it. Good play across the 25 out near the 30-yard line. I think he's going to get a first down there, Grant.
Well, that's
fake
pretty
me
nice
out
run.
And fake the defense out as well.
Man-to-man coverage on defense, and the receivers just sprinted downfield to kind of clear things out with those defensive backs, and a nice run by Spurrier for 10.
Great play call by the coaching staff, Gary Jimenez and company for the Cadets. Eastmont thinking pass and a little play action. That's your favorite play in high school football all the way through, isn't it? To college, the
Absolutely.
NFL. So 4 receivers, 2 right, 2 left. 1 goes in motion. That's Oldenkamp. Back to pass goes Spurrier. Throws out the flat. The ball caught at 35. And then splitting the defense across the 40. Out to the 41-yard line is Nehemiah Garcia for a first down. Good little pitch and catch to the left side there.
That shows the athleticism of Garcia. We mentioned these receivers are tiny, but they're really quick and athletic.
And Eastmont's got to keep their P's and Q's straight here. Can't just assume that they're just going to roll it out and everything's going to go their way. Spurrier fakes the handoff, throws out in the flat. The ball caught out there across the 45. Got a block from a man. Did the receiver. I think that's Aguilar with the catch. We'll see when he stands up if it's number 4. Nope, sorry, number 3, Javon Davis with the catch. And that's good for 7 yards, 8 yards on first down, Grant.
And Javon Davis has had a good season for the Cadets, too, receiving-wise. He's the leading receiver with 447 yards this year.
I'd say a gain of 8 on that play as they get near midfield. So most success that Eisenhower has had so far in this ball game. Again, in motion is Oldenkamp. Back to pass goes, no, handoff up the middle. They faked me out again as the handoff was to Sartain. Sartain going to be close to a first down, maybe just about a half a yard short.
He thought he had it until he ran into Fraser right there in the middle of the line of scrimmage, and that was all right there, a 1-yard gain.
About a couple ball links is all they need for the first down, so they're going to go for it here on a 3rd down play from midfield. Is it 3rd or 4th down? Okay, it is 3rd down. 3rd down at 1. Eastmont almost jumped off sides. They look over to the sideline for a placard over there, and it has number 1 on it. So they hand it to the first guy through, and it's a first down for Eisenhower. And if you're the Cadets right now, Grant, you got to be pretty happy about this offensive possession.
This is a nice drive for the Cadets for sure. Little mix of pass. Pass hasn't worked all that great, but they're getting the running game going a little bit.
So first down, they'll put it at the 47 of Eastmont. First time that Ike has been on Eastmont's side of midfield. 3 receivers wide left here. Let's see if Spurrier sticks to the ground or goes to the air this time around. On a first down play, fumbled the snap, going to cover it wisely this time back at the 45-yard line. Looked like he took his eyes off the snap as it came to him.
It wasn't the snap itself. It really wasn't. I think he hit it right on the head. He was just looking at something else, and a loss of 7.
Back to the 45, and it's tough when you got so many young players. A lot of sophomores in the lineup here for Eisenhower. When you have a negative play like that, trying to rebound from the negativity. Also, when you got just one win coming in to the game here tonight. And
Screen
pressure,
set up,
Spurrier going to roll to his right and just scramble. He threw it away. I don't know why he didn't just keep it and run out of bounds. He would have gained a few yards there.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah, they're going to say it's an incomplete pass.
Really odd.
So that brings up a third down coming up from the 45 of Ike.
And just what you don't want. 3rd and long, like you said, 3rd and 18, young team. It's tough against an experienced defense.
Yeah, and you know, they got some, like you mentioned, some talented wide receivers. I'd go with about a 7-yard pass play and then just go for them 4th down. Why not?
Because they are good after the run. They're good after the run.
Yep. So 3rd down long
after
here.
The catch, I should say.
Spurrier turn, hands off, and this is Sartain, and Sartain is spun down back around midfield. They might give him the Eastmont side of the 50. Going to be a 4th down, about 12 yards to go, so a punting situation here for the Cadets.
Snyder, nice tackle coming up from his safety position, and once he's got a hold of you, you're down right there pretty much.
Yeah. 6 yards on that gain here for Sartain, so that's one of his biggest carries of the night. Cornell will come in to punt the ball away, standing at his own 38-yard line. Grayson Snyder back at his own 20. Good pass from center, end-over-end kick away from Schneider. Will take a Ike bounce inside the 20 and then roll dead inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. Yeah, I think that's, you know, good planning because you got some talented people all over the field for the Wildcats. Keep it away from them.
And Snyder can definitely run one back, so that is smart football.
So that'll be a 34-yard punt. And Eastmont will have it for the 4th time here tonight. The first series did not go well, and then the first play of the second series did not go well. And Coach Michael Don came out and chewed some hindsight, and ever since then it's been pretty good here for Eastmont.
Everything's gone well, yeah.
First down for the 15, and Gale wants to throw it. Looks over the middle, now looks left, throws left. The ball is incomplete as it's a little underthrown Jackson West, and we got a flag down and might have a late hit on the quarterback here. We'll see. Now there's a Wildcat offensive lineman that's missing his helmet. It may have been a face mask against the defense. Sometimes that hands to the face thing. We'll see.
And he has to come out for a play, right?
Yeah, his helmet came off, so he has to come out for a play. That's Damian Arellano who's having to come out. And they're marching Eastmont back here. So, well, Grant, you mentioned a little extracurricular here at times on the line, and maybe that was some of it there.
Right.
Let's watch our official Mike Penning with the call. That indication. Well, it's after this just to the goal, no matter what it is. So it's back to the 7. After the penalty, it'll be first down over again. So a 7-yard penalty here against Eastmont. Motion man is Ruffins. Hand off to Peterson, left side. Peterson is going to be cut down after he got across the 10, out to about the 14-yard line. Coming up was Grayson Sartain, who plays both ways. A lot of kids play both ways here for Eisenhower. They'll put him down at the 14-yard line. So a gain of about 7 yards on that running play. Got most of the penalty yardage back.
Still kind of baffled by that. Must have been an illegal man downfield.
Adrian Ruffins will split out wide to the right here. No, that's not the signal.
That's what I thought.
Handoff, Colby King trying to get it around the corner. He does, but then he's hit and knocked hard out of bounds by Oldenkamp. Be a decent gain on the play. It's about a yard shy of the first down. Took it all the way to the 24-yard line. Gain of 10 yards there.
Words again, Eddie Herrera, and also Adrian Ruffins out there after the play.
So Colby King with 10 yards on that carry. It'll be 3rd down and short from the 24, and Eisenhower jumping in the neutral zone here as Eastmont went in motion, and I think this will be against the Cadets.
Boy, it takes a lot of discipline with all the motion on Eastmont's offense to stay there. It really does.
Well, and what we can't hear, too, is the cadence by Luke Gale. As the man goes in motion, he's probably barking a play or some sort of a signal out there to send him in motion. And that, along with a little visual, as you were talking about, of the man in motion, can't possibly stop forward momentum here if you're a defensive lineman in a 4-point stance. So a penalty and a first down for Eastmont. That'll put the ball at the 24-yard line. Turn, handoff, second man through Ruffins. He's got a blocker in front, trying to pick his way up the far sideline in front of the Ike bench. Leaps a man, and then finally knocked out of bounds along the far sideline across the 35 out to the 36-yard line. Very patient run by Austin Ruffins. Came into the game with 363 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns this season. The averages, that's the thing that gets you. You know, they kind of share the load a little bit. Colby King carries it most of the time. But, I mean, they're all averaging about 8, 9, 10 yards a carry.
Austin Ruffins, 13.4 yards a carry. Amazing.
Second down and 3 for the Wildcats. And here comes Colby King trying to get it around the corner. Ruffins with the block. He got the corner, and he's gone. Look out. Colby King cuts it back, and he'll take it all the way to the end zone for the 64-yard touchdown run.
And that to go along with a 38-yard touchdown run earlier this quarter and a 10-yard run for Colby King. He's having a night in the first quarter.
Yeah, Colby King came in with 8 on the season. Now 11 touchdown runs for Colby King. How about it?
Wow. Great blocking on that play. And once King, the sprinter, got to the outside, it was all over.
That was Austin Ruffins who made that block on the corner that really sprung him. And then he is so fast, and he is a sprinter. And you just can't catch him. Extra point by Edgar Leon out of the hold of Grayson Snyder is on the way, and it is good. We'll take a 60-second break and come back. 1:32 to go here in the first. 21-0 Eastmont on top of Eisenhower. You're watching Big Nine football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Well, it's just a 4-play drive with a couple of penalties thrown in. 85 yards, the big 64-yard touchdown run by Colby King. Extra point makes it 21-0 with 1:32 to go here in the first quarter. Eastmont all over Eisenhower here in the early going on the NCWLIFE Channel. Edgar Leon, let's see if they try something different here with this kickoff. It is going to be short, and it will be returnable by Sartain up across 15-20. Dances around about at the 25. Still on his feet and still moving his feet forward across the 30, and then finally drugged down by a host of Wildcats at the 31-yard line. Pretty good return.
It was a nice return. Boy, how vital and important is this drive right now for Ike? This could really be an ugly game if they don't get some kind of points on the board here.
Yeah, definitely so. They had some positive momentum. They moved the ball the last time they had it across the midfield stripe, but then ended up with a punt with a negative play. And so let's see if they can stay away from the negative plays here. As they have it first down and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Again, Moses Spurrier is the quarterback. 5'1", 180-pound sophomore. Wanted to throw it out in the flat, but the man was covered. Almost intercepted right into the gloves of Nez Shoemaker, but he dropped the football.
Holy cow.
That had interception and maybe pick six written all over it.
And that's exactly what he was thinking, unfortunately.
Marcus Cunningham is the man in the backfield as a tailback now. He's the one that sprinted out the flat. They wanted to throw the ball to him, but he was covered. Nice job by Eastmont. Here comes the defense again. Look out. Spurrier throws up the far sideline. The ball off the ends of the hands of intended receiver. Coverage downfield by Peyton Guest on the man they tried to get it to. And pretty good throw
that was
time.
A great throw down the sideline, placed perfectly, but the coverage by Guest is right on the money. And boy, these cornerbacks and defensive backs have played well this first quarter for Eastmont.
Javon Davis was the intended receiver. He's coming into the game with 447 yards and 4 touchdowns, one of their lead receivers on the season for Eisenhower. Just couldn't connect on that one. 3rd down and 10 from the 31. Spurrier looks left, now has pressure, now rolls out to his left and going to try to throw the ball, and he throws it over the top of his intended
He was
receiver.
wide open standing at the 40.
Tough, though, as you're running to your left, sprinting for your life.
That's
trying
true.
to get away from Kalunga and then trying to throw that ball with your right hand. That's tough across your body. Incomplete, 4th down.
Spurrier now, Eric, 2 of 11 for 17 yards in this first quarter. That's a toughie.
Carnell will come in to punt the ball away. Schneider waiting to finally get a return here. The kick comes his way. Good spiraling kick. Backs him up to the 31-yard line. Good coverage. But Schneider gets away from 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, 4 man. Still on his feet. And then finally corralled at the 41-yard line. And he still won't go down. Holy cow.
It might take some bench players to come out and bring him down.
That's a pretty good return by Grayson Schneider. Put him down at the 30-yard line. He lost a glove. He lost his call sheet on his wrist. They tried to undress him, and he still wouldn't go down. Well, I thought they'd give him forward progress at the 40, but no, they're going to move him back to the 38 with 49 seconds left. Eastmont football. And as we know, it doesn't take Eastmont long to score here.
No, it doesn't.
Motion man. Now Gale throws out in the flat. The ball caught by West over there, and he's going to be ahead for 9 yards. Ball came out. No, they're going to say the ball was down. The runner was down. As the reception was by Jackson West for Eastmont. So they're going to say a 9-yard gain. And boy, breathe a sigh of relief there.
First completion tonight by Luke Gale. Of course, they've only thrown it 4 times.
Now put it out to the 47-yard line. So a gain of about 9 yards on that pass play. 19 seconds. They will have to snap it one more time. We're about even on the play clock and the game clock. On a 2nd down from the 47-yard line of the Wildcats. Motion man is now Gale looking to the downfield.
Wide open.
Right there. Oh. Adrian Ruffins with the collection inside the 25 to the 24-yard line.
Beautiful throw that time by Gale. That was right on the money to a wide open Adrian Ruffins.
29 yards on the pass play, and that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. Why not end it with an exclamation point? We'll take a 60-second break and come back with Eastmont leading at 21-0 over Eisenhower. You're watching Big 9 football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders.
Or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
21-0 our score. Eastmont on top as we head to the second quarter here at Wildcat Stadium. Eastmont just celebrating a 29-yard pass play from Luke Gale to Adrian Ruffins, two of the Ruffins boys out here tonight, making a little rough on the Eisenhower defense so far. First down and 10, and handoff to Austin, the other brother, and he'll pick his way ahead to inside the 20, down to about the 15-yard line before he spilled down. Finally coming up on the stop was Cornell for Eisenhower, and going to be about a half a yard shy of a first down.
Austin Ruffins is so athletic. He just kind of stopped, turned on the juice, slowed down again. So athletic and fast.
The thing about it, too, is, you know, he broke his hand earlier this year. You see that big pink wrap around his right hand. Doesn't seem to have slowed him down at all as far as packing the rock.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be a little tough to hold on to the ball, but...
Luke Gale waits for the play clock to wind down here on a 2nd and short. Do they go for the end zone? Nope. Handoff Peterson up the middle. Peterson just gets behind that big offensive line. Loose at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Gunnar Peterson. And then a little fisticuff afterwards as Eisenhower's Judah Oldenkamp pushed him right in the face mask. And Grant, you mentioned that earlier tonight that it happened in the end zone. It happens again right in front of the official. He throws his flag. It will be a TD for Eastmont and then some.
Yeah, it's been a little chippy out here in this early going of this game, and I think it's a lot of frustration by Ike. Now possibly going to go down 4 touchdowns early in the second quarter. You know, and it's got to be frustrating. It really does.
So 15 yards on the touchdown run for Gunnar Peterson. His first touchdown of the night. His 5th. Hard to believe it's only his 5th touchdown of the season.
That is hard to believe.
Our official referee, Mike Penning, asking Michael Don what he wants to do on that penalty after the play was over. So it was a dead ball penalty. So they do count the touchdown for Eastmont, and now the extra point. I'll tell you, they went out to Edgar Leon, who's a fantastic soccer player for the Wildcat program, and asked him to come kick the football. And boy, he has done a great job ever since he took over that task. We'll take a 30-second break, come back as Eastmont has extended the lead here, 28-0 over Ike. 11:04 to go here in the half. You're watching Big 9 football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
Thanks for joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. 28-0, 4 plays, 62 yards on the drive, capped off by a 15-yard touchdown run by Gunnar Peterson. As that was, let's see, 56. Oh boy, you're going to test my math here. 55 seconds on the drive.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Edgar Leon has it teed up at the 40-yard line as he'll approach. And the kickoff, high end over end, returnable from the 4. On the return, it is Gutierrez for Eisenhower. He got across the 15. That's about it. Good coverage downfield for Eastmont. And is that Colby King that was on the coverage? Yes, it is. How about that? You got to love that.
That kid is so fast.
He is.
Well, Ike, Eric, 50 yards total in offense so far in this game. They've got to get something going. Eastmont has had 2 touchdowns that have been longer than that. So,
well, and here's the challenge for the officials here tonight. This game has gotten a little chippy here. You got a team that's very frustrated. They're on the road. They're down 4 touchdowns before you could blink an eye here in this game. So that's the challenge for the officials right now, is to try to preventively officiate this so we don't get anything ridiculous. Spurrier back, throws left, the ball caught out there, got away from a man. That's a dangerous play. And then still on his feet up near the first down yardage was Aaron Culler. He's a good target out there for Spurrier. They'll put him out of bounds at about the 28, 29 yard line. So a gain of 9 yards on first down. See, and it seems that pitch and catch is open, Grant.
Yeah, it does.
If he could just get the ball to his wide receivers.
Well, you notice how far the defensive backs are playing off the receivers. At least 10 yards, now moving up just a little bit.
Sorry, trying to kill a fly here. Hand off to Sartain. And Sartain is slammed to the ground by Prazer.
Snyder. I think it was Snyder.
Was it Snyder that got him?
Yep.
It will be enough for a first down. Barely. First at the 30 here for Eisenhower. They're going to go with a hurry-up situation as Cornell comes onto the field. He will line up as a slot back to the right, to the wide side of the field here for Moses Spurrier. Spurrier turn, handoff, and we got away from one man in the backfield. Somehow got back to the line of scrimmage. Was that Prazer?
It was.
That was in there first. Holy cow.
What great penetration.
And then Skylar Bryant was right behind him as Eastmont pinned its ears back. It'll be second down and 10 coming up from the 30-yard line. No gain on the play. Yeah, no gain. You try. If you're Eisenhower, you just try.
Right.
But we talk about no gain. I'll tell you more about that coming up. Spurrier running for his life again, throws out and overthrew everybody except an assistant coach for Eastmont. Made a nice grab right in front of the Eastmont bench.
Was that a one-handed grab?
It wasn't, but
pretty good catch.
It was good. And he gets a high five from his fellow coaching staff. Third down coming up from the 30. Sartain, we're talking about just no gain.
Right.
Well, Grayson Sartain, 144 yards rushing on the season with a 1.76 average.
That's about what he's doing tonight, too.
Yeah. And not for lack of effort.
No.
That's for sure. Back to pass. Spurrier has pressure. Now got away from it. Now he's trying to dance around the line of scrimmage. Got ahead for a couple yards. But a good job by Josh Lenhard for Eastmont, spying him and just keeping an eye on him and then wrapping him up shortly past the line of scrimmage.
Great coverage once again downfield, but one of the problems Ike had is two receivers almost ran into each other about midfield in the same location, which kind of blew up that whole play for Spurrier.
And for Eisenhower, this is their 8th game of the season. You do have a lot of youngsters on the lineup here for the cadets, but you just figure game 8, you'd kind of have that thing figured out right now. Fourth down coming up and 8 yards to go. Again, Cornell with the punt. Grayson Schneider back to return it. Has it to the 35, 40. Up the far sideline it goes to the 50. And then bang down hard at the 47 of Eisenhower. Coming up with the hit was David Aguilar for the cadets.
Snyder's got some nice speed, some kind of sneaky speed, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. So the Cats will have it with 8:38 to go here in a half. It'll be first down from the Eisenhower 48-yard line. So Gunnar Peterson remains as the tailback. Ruffins in motion. Gale throws it out in the flat to him. Let's see what Austin can do here to the 45. Just put his shoulder down and tumbled over the top of Javon Davis and kind of used that big bandage around his right hand as a battering ram. It'll be a gain to the 40, gain of 8 yards.
But what he didn't do is lower his head.
Yes, correct.
I like that play right there a lot.
Well, yeah, you give it to your talented players and say, hey,
absolutely,
make a play. West will come to the near side left. Ruffins is the slot man right. They'll turn and hand it to Peterson. He's got the first down, and that's about all of that as we have bodies flailing all over the place after the play. We got some more talking going on. Mark Stevens complaining about the block that was applied to him. Block looked fine to me.
Yeah, me too.
The block, by the way, applied for Eastmont by Cody Reister. By the way, the gain to the 36, gain of 4 yards. One of the shortest of the night here for Eastmont. By Peterson. Turn, handoff, Ruffins around the left side. Ruffins
Look at that
to the 30. He's got a wall of red jerseys, and he's going to step out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Looked like he was able to cut back, but he just put his left foot as he pivoted to cut back and stepped out of bounds at the 16, but a big gain for Austin Ruffins of 20 yards.
Wow, 20-yard gain, and it was all that offensive line. He had at least 3, maybe 4 blockers in front of him, Eric. And what more would you want if you're a running back than to see that headed sliding downfield.
And how nice if you're the quarterback, Luke Gale. I mean, you just call the play, turn, fake a handoff, then hand it to another guy and say, okay, go run.
Right. Yeah. Then it's like, okay, we have 1st and 10 again.
Yeah, Adrian Ruffins splits out wide to the right. And if you're one of the big uglies up front, as we call them, you love blocking for a good running back.
Absolutely.
Throw to Ruffins. He'll collect it at the 10. Dances
Nice
away from a man
move.
at the 5. Will go into the
Nice
end zone.
move.
Touchdown, Eastmont.
That was a beautiful move.
That was Adrian Ruffins all the way there as he collected it in for the 10, danced around a man and took it into the end zone for the 16-yard pass, reception, touchdown.
After going 0 for 3 to start this game, Eric, Luke Gale is connected on his last 4 passes in a row and is now putting himself together a pretty nice first half. Game getting ugly.
Yeah, Eastmont deliberate with getting their kicking unit out on the field. Well, Eastmont honestly has been trying to put together a complete game and really hasn't all this season. Talking with the coaching staff, talking with Michael Don, he says, you know, we still haven't put a complete game together. Offense, defense, special teams.
He didn't consider the Wenatchee game a complete game.
Nope.
Huh? Of course, there was a lot of big plays in that game.
It was. And penalties. And that's the thing,
Right.
you know, I mean, to try to keep the penalties to a minimum. And so far, Eastmont has been penalized once for 7 yards. That half the distance to the goal penalty, which was both hands on the head for the official, which I got to look that up.
Right.
One of our cameramen tonight, who's been up the booth with me this season a couple of times, Paul Collard. I'm sure he's talking to himself right now saying, Eric, that's that.
You're right. Yeah, he's correcting us right now.
He is. Here's the extra points. Watch for extracurricular. This ball is blocked.
Looked like it was offside, too.
And everybody is clean. Nobody's going to throw any punches here, so that's good. But not so good if you're Eastmont on the extra point. So we'll take a 30-second break, come back, 6:43 to go. Here in the half, 34-0 Eastmont on top of Eisenhower. You're watching Big 9 football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
Thanks for joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. That drive for Eastmont, if you can call it that. 4 plays, 48 yards, the 16-yard touchdown pass from Luke Gale to Adrian Ruffins. The extra point was blocked. 34-0 with 6:42 to go here in the half. We could be looking at a running clock here in the second half, Grant.
That extra point might make a difference.
Well, as far as that goes,
right,
right. Absolutely. So the man who had the extra point blocked and then had a man fall on top of him afterwards, Edgar Leon has the ball teed up here. See if he's suffering any ramifications from that. Line drive end over end will be collected at the 5, 10 on the return, 20, 25. Look out on the return. It's Gutierrez.
Oh, nice
return. And he gets it all the way out to the 30, make that 40-yard line. How about that? 30-yard return for David Gutierrez. Best field position start of the night here for Eisenhower. 6:36 left here in the first half of play.
Boy, they would so love just to have something positive here before halftime. Down by 34. A touchdown would just do so much for their morale because you mentioned it. The air was kind of sucked out of them early in this ball game. In the first quarter, you could see it.
Yeah, and they're kind of walking around, going back to the huddle, things like that.
Right.
Now, they're coming off a 38-0 loss to West Valley here last week. 2 losses in a row coming in. They faced a couple of tough opponents in a row, falling to Sunnyside 34-14.
That's a tough schedule right there.
Definitely so. For first down from the 40, Spurrier fakes the handoff, throws out in the flat. That was almost a lateral out there as he tried to get it out to Aaron Culler. He had blockers in front, but Culler couldn't collect the ball as Spurrier put some mustard on that.
He's got an arm for a little guy. He really does.
A little bit too much mustard, and so it's second down coming up from the 40-yard line. They got two receivers here to the near side right, kind of stacked. And the cornerback is there, but really nobody else paying attention to the inside guy. But Spurrier looks left, throws left, and is that going to be pass interference?
Boy, that was good timing, wasn't it?
Wow.
Just perfect timing.
Wow. Getting there on the button was Seth Stone, and had Seth Stone turned inside and looked, he could have picked that off for a touchdown going the other way. Aaron Kohler, the intended receiver, third down and 10 coming up from the 40.
Third down and 10, Eisenhower.
Again, Spurrier looking to the far sideline. They list him at 5'1". He's got to be taller than that.
He looks taller than that.
He's one of the tallest guys. Maybe I missed a digit. He's 5'10". How about we'll just say he's 5'10". How about
looks more like it.
Back to pass. Spurrier looking downfield, throwing for the go ball, and it's well over the head of everybody. Just Vaughn Davis was the intended receiver. Grayson Schneider with the coverage. That'll bring up fourth down.
Snyder read that all the way, and that had some help from a cornerback coming back too. So double coverage once again, and a tough first half for Moses Spurrier.
On the 40 is the fourth down and 10, Eisenhower.
This will be the fourth 3-and-out for Eisenhower in the ball game, as Coronel will come in to punt the ball away, standing at his own 27-yard line, hoping for a good pass from center. Kind of an end-over-end snap to him. High, beautiful punt.
Boy,
Snyder calling for a fair catch, and he muffed it, and it's covered by Ike. And there's the break that the Cadets were looking for, Grant.
Yep. And boy, you don't see Snyder make mistakes like that very often, but what a gorgeous punt that time. I think it took him by surprise a bit.
Yep, definitely so. So the muff punt will give Eisenhower a golden opportunity at the Eastmont 17-yard line.
Update on the National League Championship Series. Top of the ninth now, Eric. It's Phillies 4 and San Diego 2.
So still 4-2 in that one. So 6-16 as Eisenhower improves its field position thanks to the muff punt by Schneider. And snap back, turn, handoff. Sartain had a hole over there, but it quickly disappeared thanks to Ramiro Arellano for Eastmont as he steps in and makes the tackle. The gain will be just a couple of yards down to the 15-yard line.
Nice job closing on that run right there. Sartain looked like he had some room.
It did. Second down coming up for the Cadets. Trying to take advantage of Eastmont's first turnover of the game at the Wildcat 15-yard line. Everybody looks over to the coaching staff. They put the placard up in front of the bench over there with a number 2 on it. That was a running play last time, and it is again this time too. Quarterback keeper, and he's got it inside the 10, spins down to the 7-yard line. Good run by Moses Spurrier. Going to be enough for a first down.
8-yard run that time, and one of their best runs from scrimmage. In fact, that's their third best run from scrimmage here in the first half.
Finding something there with that little play action and then a quarterback keep around the right side. Of course, Eastmont very aggressive up front defensively, letting those red waves go by and then just sneaking past everybody. Spurrier going to keep it again, and this time Eastmont's defense says, I don't think so.
Fraser and Snyder, the two people you really don't want to see hit you on that defense. Might have lost a little bit, Eric.
No, they're going to say at the 7, so no gain, no loss. Second down and goal from the 7-yard line. Eastmont would love to pitch a shutout here, but Eisenhower knocking on the door right now. On a second down and goal, ball right hash mark from the 7-yard line, 4:41 to go. Clock ticking here in the second quarter. Spurrier faked the handoff and had a receiver wide open instead. Tries to run it and then is absolutely clobbered at the goal line.
Oh, man. Josh Leinhardt laid the wood on him at about the 1-yard line. I thought Spurrier thought he would just be able to walk in there. Wow.
So here we go, third down and goal from the 1. Sartain a couple of steps behind Spurrier. Now he'll line up beside him to the right. Spurrier looking to his right, and now the ball snapped over his head, and he's going to have to cover it back at the 9-yard line.
Boy, just what you don't want to happen down at the goal line. But
loss of 8 yards, trailing it here 34-0. They're going to go for it, of course. I don't know if I would if you got the kicker, I would want to get some points
on the board.
Get the goose egg off of there and say, hey,
just for a morale booster, if nothing else.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. They might get 6 here. We'll see. Spurrier got the sign from the sideline on a 4th down and goal. Rolling to his right, pressure, throws. The ball is caught.
No, he was bobbling it,
He was still bobbling it as he went out of bounds.
Oh, they're going to call that a catch?
Or are they going to call it an interception?
Or was it? I think it was, Eric.
Okay. The officials are walking out like the ball is going to be put at the 7. That was a 4th down play from the 9. And what are we going to have? Yeah, they're going to put the ball at the 7-yard line. So that is an interception for Eastmont. And Nez Shoemaker will get credit for the interception.
He had to have just taken it away from him, didn't he, at the end of that play?
Well, I thought they both went out of bounds before possession was gained by either player.
Looked like they were juggling it for sure.
So 1st down for Eastmont at the 7-yard line with 3:18 to go. So they dodge a bullet there. And Gale hands it, 2nd man through, look out. Here is up the near sideline across the 20, out to the 25. Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of carries, but Moore with the carry there, and Landon with a big gain all the way out to the 26-yard line. Gain of 19 yards on the first carry of the game for Landon Moore.
Wow, get everybody involved tonight. The 4th ball carrier in the game.
Luke Gale happy to watch this play clock go down. The handoff again.
There he is
to Moore across the 40. Still on his feet to the midfield stripe and finally spilled down there. How about it? Oh, no. Excuse me. Gunnar Peterson on the carry. I apologize.
Another 25 there, Eric. Boy, they can chew up some yards when they want to, can't they? And it all starts up front. They get such great seal blocks, the guards and the center, and it just allows these gigantic holes for these running backs.
25 yards on that carry for Gunnar Peterson. The numbers at halftime going to be kind of interesting here, Greg.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're all on the side of the right out here. Handoff again, and this is Moore. Again, we got a flag behind the play, though. So this one's probably coming back. Haven't had too many penalty flags thrown in this one.
Yeah, that's a hold.
Unlike our last game, it seemed like it was a night to get some grass stains on the flags for the officials because they wanted to run a wash. Honey, you got any darks?
Right. That would have been a nice another 15-yard run by Moore there, too.
2nd penalty on Eastmont tonight. This one for 10 from the spot of the foul, so they'll put it back at the 40-yard line. 2 penalties, 17 yards for Eastmont unofficially in the game. As into the contest comes Dylan McCamey. He'll split out wide to the right, trying to, as you mentioned, Grant, getting everybody in.
Right.
Motion man is King. Back to pass is Luke Gale. Throws over the middle. The ball caught inside the 40. And if he could keep his feet, Landon Moore may have taken that one for a touchdown.
Wow, I guess. Once again, play action.
Yep.
It just froze those linebackers at the line of scrimmage and the cornerbacks and allowed that pass play to happen for 20.
Are they going to say that's a 1st down? Yes, they're going to move the sticks, I believe. Okay, hang on. The sticks still haven't moved here. No, they're going to say 2nd down from the 39. It looked like they got the yard to gains. Now the officials are going to say, wait a minute.
I thought they spotted it enough for a 1st down. I really did.
Well, the stick is, you look at the far sideline over there, it's short of the 39 for the yard to gain. And now the referee here, Mike Penning, says, yeah, well, that's a 1st down. I think he signaled it was a 1st down, but maybe the head linesman over there didn't see it, and so he didn't move the chain gang. So nice for the officials to make sure everybody's on the same page. After that pass play, by the way, that was good for 21 yards. Gale, handoff. Peterson picking his way over the left side. Keeps his legs driving, and then finally is inbounds, but will be stopped at the 31. Gain of 8.
Always a trait of a good running back. You never stop those legs from moving, and that's Gunnar Peterson to a T.
Absolutely. Credit to the coaching staff for Eastmont, too, working with these guys. Michael Dodd, of course, the head coach. Jay Foster, Ryan Tuller, Shane Brookover, Omar Figueroa, Josh Simonson, Ismail Murillo, Bradley Riggs, Ryan Goodwin. Here's a throw over the left side, caught by West at the 25. He's going to have enough for a first down. That'll stop the clock, and then a flag came down at the end of the play, and this could add another half the distance for Eastmont. They'll spot the ball at the 25. That was good enough on a 6-yard pass play from Gale to West, and a face mask will be tacked on here. They didn't do the personal foul variety, so just a grasp of the mask and not a turn of the head. So that's 5 yards extra onto the end of it. 3 penalties now and 25 yards for Eichen officially here in the game. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Confluence Health. High quality care close to home. Confluence Health dedicated to improving their patients' health with safe, high quality care in 12 communities. Thanks to Confluence for jumping on board with our sponsorship here on the NCWLIFE Channel. So they're asking if Eastmont is interested in the clock winding. Clock will wind on the snap after the penalty on the defense. Back to pass, Gale looks left, pumps left, now throws towards the end zone. We're going to get a flag down here. I think maybe some pass interference intended for West up the near sideline. Coverage was by Javon Davis, and penalty flag comes in. I had to mention we haven't had many penalties.
Not right. At the very least, that's holding, if not pass interference.
Right.
Got a little bit of jersey that time, it looked like.
Well, the ball was spouted at 20, so it'll be half the distance. It was pass interference, so that's half the distance, so that'll be a 10-yard penalty. Final in the NLCS Game 3. Phillies hold on and beat San Diego 4-2 tonight. So they take a 2-1 advantage in that best-of-7 series. So after the penalty, it'll be first down over again for Eastmont from the 10-yard line. First and goal from the 10. Motion man is King. Throw over the middle. The ball caught.
Beautiful pass.
And right there, Landon Moore with the touchdown grab for Eastmont.
Beautiful pass again.
Gale on the money. So the touchdown is good from 10 yards out. Second pass touchdown of the night for Luke Gale. Eastmont had its last point after touchdown blocked. They'll try to kick it again here. See if they short things up inside with 1:01 to go here in this first half. Snap on the extra point is back. Spot, kick, good. Take a 30-second break and come back. You're watching Big 9 football here on the NCWLIFE Channel with our score, Eastmont 41, Eisenhower nothing.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Well, the drive for Eastmont started at their own 7-yard line, by the way.
That's right.
93 yards on 7 plays. The 10-yard touchdown pass from Gale to Landon Moore. Extra point good. Makes it a 41-0 ball game with 1:01 to go. You know, the thing that strikes me about that drive for Eastmont, time was winding down here. They didn't panic at all.
No, didn't even use a timeout.
No, just calmly moved it down the field.
Is that Eastmont's offense in a nutshell, though, Eric? 93 yards in 7 plays. That's Eastmont in a nutshell.
Edgar Leon has it teed up here at the 40-yard line for the ensuing kickoff. And the high end-over-end kick will be down and fielded by Gutierrez at the 5, 10, 15. Left side he goes. And still on his feet and just keeping those legs driving. You're talking about that, Grant. Good ball carrier. Just keeps chukka up to the 35-yard line.
Boy, if you're Ike, what do you do here? Do you try and wing it downfield and get some points? You playing it safe to not make it worse than it is, or what do you do?
Well, some of the successful plays they've had has been their quarterback throwing out the flats and the quarterback keeper.
They haven't been really trying to go downfield that much. No, the coverage has been fantastic by Eastmont tonight.
Coming up at half, we'll give you a recap of what has happened in this first half. All Eastmont so far. Also, I think band is going to perform here at half. It is senior night, so the band members also recognized usually on senior nights here at Wildcat Stadium. So first down from the 35, 50 seconds left here in the first half. 41-0 Eastmont on top. By the way, if you're curious, 42 points is the running clock situation in the second half. Spurrier throws out the flat, the ball caught, but then great coverage and quickly taken down. Seth Stone on the tackle of the receiver, Mark Stevens. It's a gain of just 5 yards. And that's got to be frustrating, too, for Eisenhower's offense. You make a great play, and then suddenly, boom, you're taken down after just 5 yards.
And that was a nice play.
It was. Stevens again lined up, kind of a mismatch here height-wise.
Blitz.
And now Spurrier got away from the blitz. How about that for the sophomore quarterback? That was beautifully read by Spurrier, who just saw a wave coming his way. Took it ahead across the 45 to the 47-yard line. First down after the 7-yard scamper by Moses Spurrier. And again, Spurrier just a sophomore, getting such valuable time. Turn, handoff, Sartain got away from one man. Look out, Sartain to the 40, and then finally tripped up at the 36-yard line. Schneider came up on the stop. Best run of the night here for Sartain and for the running game for Eisenhower. And a timeout going to be taken here by the Cadets. Our broadcast on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you in part by Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, providing heating and air conditioning service and installation since 1982, serving residential and commercial. They specialize in indoor air quality installation and service or repair. Also by Global Car Care. ASC certified technicians will take good care of your vehicle. Whether you need general maintenance or have a European specialty car, you can count on Global to keep you on the road. Along with Grant Olson, I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Both teams have used a timeout now here in this first half of play. And a first half that has been dominated by Eastmont, other than their first possession that kind of was clunky looking. Their first play of their second position was also clunky, and so Coach Don called a timeout, came out and painted some hindsight with his verbal attack.
Boy, did they change after that, though.
And then that was it.
They really did.
All Eastmont since then. Spurrier on the offense after the timeout. Just a few seconds left. Throws down the middle. The ball is overthrown. The intended receiver looking for Garcia. Pretty good coverage for Eastmont again by Seth Stone back there. We'll have enough time for one more heave towards the end zone.
Ball remains near the 37-yard line. It'll be second and 10. Cadets.
The officials are resetting the play clock because they didn't get a ball back. That's where you'd think they'd come in with a new ball from the sideline. But then receivers were all, 40 yards downfield, so they had to get back to the line of scrimmage as well. Spurrier about 4 yards deep in the backfield. Gets the snap. looks left, pressure comes, steps up, now throws. The ball is caught. Going to run out of time here before he can do anything else, but a decent gain all the way down to the Eastmont 8-yard line. So, 29 yards on the pass play to end the half. So, I guess if you are looking for moral victories, they got it down inside the 8 for before the half. So
something positive.
Something positive, as Grant talked about. But for Eastmont on senior night, it is a celebratory first half as they lead at 41-0 here over the Eisenhower Cadets. We'll take a 2-minute break, come back. We'll catch you up to date on what else might be going around the area and take a look at the numbers of this first half and see if we have the band playing. You know, I don't see the band coming out of the stands, so it doesn't look like the band will be playing here. So we will entertain you ourselves here coming up at half on the NCWLIFE Channel. Again, our halftime score is Eastmont 41, Eisenhower 0. We're back after this.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They set, in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Welcome back here to Eastmont's Wildcat Stadium, where Eastmont leads Eisenhower 41-0 at halftime. I'm Eric Granstrom along with Grant Olson. Recap of that first half, Eastmont, we kind of alluded to that, came out and did not look so sharp in their first possession of the ball game as they went 3 and out, punted the ball away. Ike got the ball at its own 35-yard line and fumbled the ball, and Frazier recovered it for the Wildcats, giving Eastmont a first down at the 17 of Eisenhower, and it would be Austin Ruffin scoring the first touchdown of that first half of play on a 5-yard touchdown run. 4-play, 19-yard drive, a minute 22 off the clock, made it 7-0 Eastmont with 9:05 to go in the first half of play. The Wildcat defense would flex its muscles after Eisenhower got a first down in its second possession of the first half and then force a punt from their own 31-yard line. Eastmont got good field position at the 40 of the Cadets, and it would only take 2 plays to score this time around, as Colby King would score the first of his 3 touchdowns in that first half of play. King with a 38-yard touchdown run to cap a 2-play, 40-yard drive, 43 seconds off the clock. It was 7:13 to go in the first quarter. It was 14-0 Eastmont. Eisenhower really got their offense going on its next possession of the first half as they were able to chew up, 3 first downs, got the ball into Eastmont territory for the first time in the game, got as far as the 45, but then were backed up and had to punt the ball away. Eastmont got it back with 3:15 left in that first half of play at its own 15-yard line. Again, it wouldn't take long for the Wildcats to score as Colby King took it in from 64 yards out, capping a 4-play, 85-yard drive, just a minute 37 seconds off the clock. And with a minute 32 to go in the first quarter, Eastmont on top, 21-0. Another 3-and-out for Eisenhower's offense gave Eastmont the ball back at its own 38. And again, another quick drive, 4 plays, 62 yards. And it was Gunnar Peterson this time around on the ground from 15 yards out. The extra point good made it a 28-0 ball game with 11:04 to go in the second quarter. Eisenhower was able to get a first down on its next possession, but then had to punt the ball away, and Eastmont got it back at its own 48. And again, Eastmont taking quick effort to get the job done on a 4-play, 48-yard drive, under 2 minutes on the drive. And Luke Gale would hit the first of 2 touchdown passes in that first half to Adrian Ruffins from 16 yards out. The extra point was good. That made it a 34-0 ball game at that point with 6:42 to go in the first half of play. Actually, the PAT was blocked on that one, so that made it 34-0 at that point in time. So just 6 points on the board for Eastmont. Eisenhower again would get the ball in pretty decent field position after a muffed punt by Eastmont, but they couldn't do anything with it as Shoemaker came up with an interception. Eastmont would get one more touchdown on the first half of play as Gale would hit Landon Moore on a touchdown pass from 10 yards out to cap a drive of 7 plays and 93 yards. That was right before half. Touchdown made it a 41-0 ball game with 1:01 to go in the half, and that would be the pretty much end of that first half of play. So Eastmont in charge in this first half, and we're another score away from a running clock in the second half, so it could be a quick second half of action here coming up. We'll come back after a break and get you Grant Olson to tell us about the numbers in this one. Big number on the board right now is all for Eastmont, 41-0 over Eisenhower. We're back with more after this 2-minute timeout.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
You're watching Big 9 football on the NCWLIFE Channel, along with Grant Olson, Eric Granstrom. 41-0 all Eastmont in that first half of play. And Grant, I'm assuming that the Wildcats probably have the edge in offensive numbers as well.
In fact, Eric, they've almost tripled what Ike has in the first half. Here we go. Moses Spurrier for the Cadets on the ground. 8 carries, 19 yards in that first half. Grayson Sartain, 9 carries for 45 yards for a total of 64 yards on the ground for Eisenhower. Meanwhile, through the air, Spurrier, he has had a tough first half. 5 of 20 for 60 yards and 1 interception. Total yards for Ike in that first half, 124. Now to Eastmont, and boy, there's a lot to talk about. On the ground, Gunnar Peterson, 8 carries, 70 yards and a touchdown. Austin Ruffins, he had 4 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. Colby King, how about this? 3 carries, 112 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Wildcats. Landon Moore had a nice carry in that second quarter, 1 carry, 19 yards. And Luke Gale, 1 carry for 4 yards for a total in the first half on the ground for the Wildcats, 246 yards. Meanwhile, through the air, Luke Gale, pretty respectable first half. He was 7 of 10 for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, Adrian Ruffins leads the way for the Wildcats, 2 catches, 45 yards and a touchdown. And Landon Moore off the bench, also 2 catches for 30 yards for the Wildcats. Total yards for Eastmont, Eric, in that first half, 358 yards. So a little bit of a disparity, to 358 to 124 yards.
I don't know what this means, Grant, but all of our cameramen are up in the booth. So
are we still on the air?
I don't know if there's much to shoot right now, but the Wildcat shooting for a running clock. I think we're all in favor of a running clock here in the second half. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Plan your next tournament and event today. Call the Pro Shop and schedule your time with their full swing S4 widescreen golf simulators. Call 509-884-4653. That's 509-884-4653 for the Highlander. We'll take a break, come back, 2-minute timeouts here on the broadcast. 41-0, all Eastmont over Eisenhower. You're watching Big 9 football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So it's right here.
Don't stress, just save up to $250 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
Thanks for joining us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. All Eastmont here at halftime as they lead the Ike Cadets 41-0, and we get a score here in the second half, and that will lend us to a running clock, which will make things go by much quicker for those of you watching at home or wherever you may be. Thank you very much for doing so. We've got one more football game for sure next Friday night. We'll be back at Lebofto Field at the Apple Bowl, where the Wenatchee Panthers will wrap up the season against West Valley. So it'll be a senior night for the Panthers. So be sure and tune in for that. We also have volleyball on Tuesday night next week, and Wenatchee and Moses Lake, I believe, is our connection there. Panthers trying to position themselves for the postseason and get one of the top 2 spots in the Big Nine, so they don't have to worry about a play-in game as far as postseason is concerned. The crossover games we mentioned is kind of it's as clear as mud as far as the Big Nine teams and whom they'll play and where they'll play, and it's a whole new kind of a situation as far as postseason is concerned. Keep your television and your internet device tuned into the NCWLIFE channel. As it becomes clearer, we will be able to pass that information along to you and tell you where you can root on your favorite Wildcat, Panther, or also, of course, we keep track of what's happening in the Caribou Trail League. I just went to scorebook.live.com, and they don't have any updates on some of the scores here in North Central Washington, so I apologize for not being able to get you those scores. But of course, the bronze shoe game happening tonight. This is about the 60-something game between Chelan and Cashmere for the bronze shoe. And Cashmere heavily favored in that, not in the game tonight, but they have the heavy win total between the two teams in the bronze shoe game as we get ready for the second half. So if you're Eisenhower, you had a couple positive plays before halftime. Is that enough to really kind of fuel the juice for the second half, Grant?
I think it does, a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to come back and win this game, but I think they can take something positive out of this game if they do kind of run their... I like the RPO part of their offense.
Yes.
A run-pass option. Out of breath, I just came up
That's okay.
downstairs.
That's all right.
But the quarterback is talented enough to pull that off.
He is, and he did, a couple of scrambles there right before half, too, that were certainly impressive. We're speaking of Moses Spurrier. If you're the Wildcats, I mean, geez, other than that first possession, everything has gone pretty much your way. A muff punt, that's the only real negative here tonight. I guess the thing is you go into halftime and you tell your kids, hey, let's not get into the extracurricular stuff. We're doing pretty good on the penalties. Let's try to finish this up as a complete game that we haven't had so far in 6 games this year.
Boy, what a half. I mean, that was a complete half, that's for sure. And I think we're going to see a lot of other players maybe this second half, too.
And how cool is that
That's awesome.
Get a chance to get some youngsters in and get some playing time that haven't had that opportunity. There is a couple of moments that we'll probably see here in the second half. Some seniors for Eastmont that have dealt with injury situations, and they're going to try to get them into the game even though they can't officially play. So we'll see about that if it happens down the stretch, and we'll keep our eyes out.
I really do.
That would be a very special moment here, as it is senior night. It's also, of course, Cancer Awareness Month here in October. We've got the coaching staff wearing pink. We've got a bunch of the folks on the sidelines are wearing pink here. The administrative staff wearing pink, and of course, if you've been alive for longer than 10 minutes, you have had cancer involved in your life one way or another. You've had a relative that has had cancer. You have maybe lost somebody from cancer. But the good thing is that we have more people that are surviving cancer than ever before.
That's right. And no other disease known to man has had more money given to cancer research. So it's, finally we'll maybe see some benefits of that.
Well, and I think that, there's so many people that say, well, gee, what about a cure? Well, and there's some, conspiracy theorists that say, well, there is a cure. They just, there's too much money involved.
Too much money involved.
Well, whatever the case, more people are surviving this dreaded disease now than ever before. And that's because of the money that has gone to research. That is money that has gone to help discover new ways of treatment and things like that. So,
early detection, that's the key.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll take a break and come back. The two teams are out getting ready for our second half, and we too shall wet our whistle and get ready for a second half of football. 41-0. Eastmont on top of Eisenhower. We're back with more right after this.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They set, in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
Well, the teams are out and warming up for a second half of play, and the interesting part of this will be all of the reserves that'll get a chance for Eastmont to play here with a 41-0 lead here in the second half, Grant.
And I guess we will see a running clock in this second half, 40 points.
So I thought it was 42.
I did too,
but
Dan
we were
Kuntz
told
said 40.
But... Well, you know, the first rule of the newsroom at the NCWLIFE Channel.
No first rule of life.
And we laugh about that because we say, you know, don't believe anything Dan Kuntz says. Anybody who watches Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, that's a good, rule to live by, too, if you watch that particular program here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Harvest Valley Pest Control. Living healthy, local, and pest-free, you can rest assured that Harvest Valley Pest Control uses kid and pet-safe material around your home or office. Call Harvest Valley Pest Control today for your free estimate at 509-423-2207. That's 509-423-2207. Also, Brian, Les Schwab. Les Schwab takes your safety seriously every time you stop by. All right, we've reset the clock at 12 minutes here, second half. Question, though, Grant, we're just kind of postulating about this, is do you start your starters in the second half if you're Eastmont? I mean, you're up big.
Well, I think I would run at least a series with the starters, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Be kind of like NFL preseason, well, the way it used to be.
Right.
You know, that third preseason game used to be the one where you play everybody, the starters in the first half, they come out for a series in the second half, and then you get the scrubs in there.
Boy, another question is, how chippy is Ike going to be here in this second half?
Hopefully they get a chance to kind of cool the Jets a little bit at halftime. It will be Eisenhower getting the football to start this second half. So we'll see if that little success, that little drive before the half, kind of spurred some gumption for the visitors from the Yakima Valley. Eastmont's had a lot of practice at kicking off here in this first half.
So, Eric, a running clock means the clock only stops on a penalty. Is that true? And an injury?
Stops on, yes, penalty and an injury, or the end of quarter, or a timeout.
Or a timeout.
You could still stop the clock with a timeout. So Edgar Leon will tee it up at the 40 as Eastmont will kick it away from our left to right. And back to return is Grayson Sartain. He is one of the return men back there for Eisenhower. Whistle sounds. Our crew is ready to go. The combatants are ready to go. And I hope you're ready to go, too, for a quick-moving second half of play here As Leon's end-over-end kick will sail down to Sartain at the 5, 10, 15 on the return. Look out to the 20, and then hit hard. Oh, my, what a stick there at the 22-yard line. And that is where the Cadets will have it, first possession of the second half. You know, I was looking at it, Grant, and I was surprised to see that, you know, despite the problems that Eisenhower had in that first half, they got 9 first downs.
They did, and Sartain, not a terrible first half. 9 carries, 45 yards, and as you mentioned in that first half, Eric, both Spurrier and Sartain only sophomores, so these are young guys in that backfield.
And you see the running clock already started. So after the kickoff return, that clock just moves. First down from the 22-yard line here for the Cadets, and it will be Moses Spurrier at quarterback. Handoff to the backup running back here, and this carry is by Gutierrez, and he will get up near the 25. Gain of 3 yards on first down.
Eastmont tackle made by Ricky Kaluga.
So we'll see if, yeah, it looks like starters are out there for Eastmont defensively, Grant. All the original starting 11 on defense. Second down from the 25-yard line here for the Cadets. High snap to Spurrier. Handoff again, Gutierrez. And he will drive forward across the 30 out near first down. Going to be maybe just a little bit shy. Good gain on second down there. Put him down at the 31-yard line.
Hold on, let's go!
There's our friend back. He was kind of quiet in the first half. Third down and 1. It looked like Eisenhower was going to score after a muff punt in the first half, but Eastmont's defense held. High snap again, handoff again. Gutierrez, look out to the 40, 45, and they had one man to beat, and he hangs on for dear life, does Peyton Guest. A gain all the way out to the 45-yard line. Gain of 14 yards on that running play.
Out to the 45-yard line.
David Gutierrez, number 24, running the ball here for Eisenhower.
Doing a nice job, too.
Absolutely. 5'8", 170-pound sophomore.
Busted
Look out,
play.
Spurrier looking to just unload that football, and he finally does, and then a push after the play by Peyton Guest, and that was unnecessary, and that's going to be 15 against Eastmont.
Boy. That you don't need to be doing, right?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Well, we had a video that we showed before the ball game here tonight from the executive director of the NFHS about being kind to officials and about proper, I guess, behavior towards officials. And, well, let's just suffice it to say that there is one very loud person here at Eastmont that has a tendency to not be too kind to officials. Almost on cue.
It was on cue.
3 penalties now, 32 yards after the 15-yard penalty against Eastmont on the late hit. Unnecessary roughness. So let's see what Spurrier and company can do here. He'll hand it off to Gutierrez again. Excuse me, no, it is Sartain, and he is met and dropped. Eastmont coming up well there defensively that time. Looks like Tyson Mora got in there for the stop for the Wildcats. It'll be a loss of a yard back to the 41-yard line. So second down, 11 here for Moses Lake. First possession of the second half. And with that running clock, we're already 8.5 minutes left here of the third quarter. We will have a post-game show. We'll head down to the sidelines and talk to Coach Don and player of his choice. Handoff, Sartain again, dances around one man, two men, 30. Up the far sideline, he goes to the 20, to the 15, and then finally tumbled out of bounds at around the 10-yard line. How about that run for Sartain?
31 yards on that carry, and that gets him now to 76 yards on the night. It's got to be one of his best rushing nights of this season. Nice job blocking, too, by the Cadets on that play.
They're going to put the ball down at the 19-yard line. We're going to get a timeout taken here, I think, by Eastmont, as Coach Michael Don not happy about what he's seeing out of the locker room from his team. as that ball will be placed. Are they going to put it at the 13 or the, yes, it is the 13-yard line. So a first down from there. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Sangster Motors, family owned and operated, home of the all-new electric Hummer pickup and SUV. Also by Save Mart, shop smart, shop local, providing outstanding value and service since 1962. Well, we saw that in the first half, where Eastmont came out flat, and Coach Michael Dunn called a timeout. And this a much calmer huddle in the timeout here. Of course, Michael Dunn is the offensive coach, offensive coordinator, if you will. So he's on the sideline with a defensive coach out there right now and talking to his players about, well, you know, it's a pride factor here. You want to keep the shutout, right?
Absolutely. And if you're Ike, you haven't scored now in 6 quarters, and you want to get it in the end zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, coming in after a 38-0 shutout to West Valley last week. So we have one of the linemen coming out of the lineup here for Eisenhower after that timeout. That's strange. Coming out slowly was Kanan Gutierrez.
Yeah, that is strange.
So they get him replaced on the offensive line. Snap to Spurrier. He wants to run it to around the right side, picks his way ahead inside the 10, and then finally spilled down at about the 8-yard line. So a gain of 5 yards. So Eisenhower has found something here at halftime.
They have. I think they're just trying to keep it simple here in this second half. Let's just try some things, keep it on the ground, and get some yardage.
Well, that they have. In the backfield, Gutierrez again, a couple of steps behind Spurrier, as Moses looks over to the sideline for what they want to run here on a 2nd down and 5 inside the 10. Handoff is to Gutierrez, and then he is tackled down hard on the play by Ramiro Arellano. We've seen a couple of his plays here towards the end of the first half and now here in the second half where he just closed in the gap quickly.
Done such a great job. They just stay home and don't make mistakes.
I'll put the ball at the 6 after a gain of 2 for Gutierrez. 3rd down coming up for the Cadets. Opening possession of the second half. Handoff Gutierrez. This time, not much happening as he is corralled in the backfield for maybe a loss of about a half a yard on the play. Big fella up front, Austin Padron, the 5'8", 252-pound sophomore, gobbles him up.
Big boy.
Andrew Swan will check in here defensively. No gain on the play, or was it a loss of a yard back to the 7? Yeah, it looks like it.
Was.
So 4th down. Can Eastmont continue the shutout? Or no, we're going to get a timeout first on the field as they'll stop the clock with 6:21 to go. We'll keep it right here on the NCWLIFE Channel and talk about, well, what do you think?
Well, it's an important possession for
absolutely.
Ike. It really is. So they want to talk this over. I get the timeout. 4th and long 3. Yeah, they need a touchdown here just for their team.
It's not like they're not playing against, you know, it's not like they're playing against the scrubs here. No. Eastmont's got its.
Did you get it?
I missed it. It's over on your side.
Okay, I'll get it.
We got a fly in here. It's driving us nuts. And it's a 10-pounder.
It is big.
I think it's left over from the Lufthansa. It's been a long season, folks. And dealing with the smoke. And hopefully, Grant, is this a season-ending event possibly this weekend?
Yeah, I think it is. Even though we didn't see much rain, it is spitting out there a little bit right now. But
kind of went around us today, didn't it?
But up in Lake Wenatchee, they got a nice rain. Okay. Other areas had some showers. So
good.
Yeah.
All right, 4th down, about 4 yards to go. Long 3 yards here for Eisenhower. Let's see what they dial up after their timeout taken, their first of the second half. And it is a Spurrier keeping it, and it looks like he's going to get enough for a first down. How about that?
Needed 4, got about 5.
So keeps the drive going down to the 3-yard line, gain of 4 yards for Spurrier on the keeper. And that's been kind of one of their most successful plays here tonight.
So rushing yards on this possession has tied their first half total of 64.
How about that?
Yeah.
So Ike kind of splits things out here. Lone back behind Spurrier, turns, hands it to him, running right, and he is caught at the line of scrimmage. And I don't even know if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
I don't either. He might give it to him, but
It's never enough, Grant. Never enough. Second down coming up from the 3. No gain for Gutierrez on the handoff. And they're going to go with kind of a jumbo set in the backfield as Coronel is back there. And he is Mr. Jumbo, 215 pounds. Handoff, Gutierrez went off the block of Coronel, but no, Eastmont stiffens up defensively up front, makes a stop, no gain, maybe in fact a loss of a yard on the play back to the 4-yard line.
Leading the tackling, Eastmont, Austin Padron. John Marcus Cunningham, the Eisenhower ball carrier.
Well, it's a pride factor here now if you're Eastmont's defense. They want to keep the shutouts alive for the Wildcats on senior night. So 3rd down and goal from just inside the 4-yard line. Again, the jumbo formation in the backfield for Moses Spurrier, the sophomore quarterback. Checks over to his coach's staff on the sideline. Gets the snap, throws out in the end zone, and it is intercepted by, I believe, Seth Stone with the interception.
Didn't have to work too hard for that one. Just backed up a few steps and made a nice soft catch. And that snuffs out that drive for the Cadets.
Second interception of the night here for Eastmont. So the drive for Eisenhower will end in an interception, and we will give Eastmont the ball back with 4:09 to go. And, yeah, that running clock sure does make a difference, doesn't it?
Even on possession change, it keeps rolling.
Yep. So 1st down for Eastmont. They'll have it at their own 20-yard line. Now we'll see if it's starting offense or we get some reserves out there. Looks like starting offense coming out onto the field here for the Wildcats.
I really believe just one possession for these guys, don't you?
Yeah. Luke Gale at quarterback.
Got a big...
Andrew Swan is the tailback.
He sure is.
The senior offensive lineman who has played his entire career for Eastmont, 4 seasons. He's a senior. They fumble it, then hand it to him, and look out, Andrew Swan gets the head up across the 25 out to the 29-yard line.
Almost a 1st down. That's awesome.
In fact, they're going to give him the 1st down. How about that?
I need to get him on my sheet here.
Andrew Swan. He's the man that's been one of the big uglies, as we talk about it, who's been blocking for others and finally has somebody block for him.
How great was that?
Awesome for Michael Dunn and his coaching staff on senior night. Now Gunnar Peterson is back there as the tailback. And Swanee back on the line. And they'll turn and hand it to King. We'll get a flag down. Colby King up the near sideline, knocked out of bounds and scampers his way behind the Eastmont bench.
I think they might have caught Austin Ruffins for a hold on that play.
Well, and he can argue the fact, how can I hold when I only have one hand available?
Well, that's true.
Flag was thrown by the man here near side. Our officiating crew, by the way, has done a good job tonight from the Chelan County Association. Mike Penning, our referee. Zachary Kirshner is our umpire. Craig Still, the headlinesman. Nathan Hahn, the line judge. Kelly Campbell, the back judge. And that'll be a penalty against Eastmont. They're 4th of the night now for 42 yards, unofficially.
Pretty clean football game for Eastmont. It really was.
Yeah, not too bad.
No.
It'll be 1st and 20 now for the Wildcats as they'll put it back at the 15-yard line. Oh, was that a 15-yard penalty? Handoff. King.
Look out.
It's so hard to bring that guy down. Gets it all the way out to the 35-yard line. So
1st and 25, and you get 20 of them back.
Whatever that penalty was, it was a 15-yarder against Eastmont. And, yeah, he gets it all the way out to the 36-yard line. Look at that.
He just glides out there. He's so fast, and he's strong legs.
And he's kind of an upright runner.
He is.
Which, kind of Roger Craig-ish, if you remember that back in the day. So 2nd down and 4 for Eastmont. Ball right hash mark at the 36. Gale sends man in motion, handoff Peterson again across the 40, out across the 45, and he just continues to drive those legs, gets near midfield before he finally is spilled down. They'll put him at the 48-yard line. Gain of, is that really 22 yards on that play?
I got 9 on that play.
Oh, 9 on that play. Oh, okay, all right.
Sometimes it seems that way.
Oh, it was the 36. Okay, there we go. So now it's out the 48-yard line. Luke Gale under center. See if they chew a little more clock here as we're winding quickly through. 25 seconds left in the quarter. And this handoff doesn't go for much inside here for the Wildcats as it stood up nicely by the Ike defense. Peterson with the carry, and that's about his shortest run of the night. A couple of yards out to midfield.
That's going to do it for this quarter already,
and
Eric.
That will do it. And, boy, officials love it when the ball is at the 50-yard line where you got to reverse ends.
All you do is change sides.
Just turn around.
Yep, right.
All right, we'll take a 60-second break and come back. We're through 3, 41-0. Eastmont on top. You're watching Big 9 football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Welcome back once again here to Eastmont's Wildcat Stadium. 41-0 as we start the fourth quarter, and a handoff inside to one of the many reserves that is in the lineup now for the Wildcats. So we'll try to get them all here for you. As in the ball game as a wideout is Grant Johnson. Also in there as a running back will be Cody Reister. The quarterback, by the way, is Luke Shrubby, who's a 5'8", 155-pound sophomore, wearing number 12. Handoff right side, picking his way ahead on the carry is Aaron Escalera. And a nice gain for him all the way to the 40-yard line. That'll be a first down for Eastmont. So Escalera takes it to the 40. Try to get some of the offensive linemen out there as well. Armando Farias is out there as an offensive lineman. Wide out to the far side is Joseph Lisson. First down and 10 for Eastmont. They'll turn, hand it to their scat back, and we've seen him already tonight. As he caught a touchdown pass. It was Landon Moore on the carries. They'll take it around the left side all the way down to the 26-yard line.
15 yards, and it didn't look like anything there, did it?
No. And that talks about the future of Eastmont. We do have a flag on the play, so this one could be coming back. So hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it is a hold against Eastmont. Also out there, let's try to get the offensive line for you. 65 is in there. That's Cooper Agnew. I believe he is the center now. Alex Sotelo is on the offensive line. Abe Garcia out there as a lineman as well.
All sophomores, Eric.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see the right guard. Some of these players might not necessarily be on our varsity roster, so we'll keep a close eye here. Yeah, I think I see a 59 that's not on the roster here, so try to get that right guard for you coming up. Turn and handoff again. Again, this is Landon Moore as he just had a good gain that was wiped away by the penalty. 5 penalties on the night here for Eastmont, and 57 yards in penalties. So it's been a kind of a clean night.
It has. It really has. I thought so.
So a couple of yards there for more on the carry. He's lined up as the wingback on the right side, on the far side of the field. They'll hand it to the first man through, and decent gain there for Julian Cortez. Remember, it was Cortez that got loose, and the coach next door went absolutely berserk because that's his kid.
Oh, that's awesome.
He told me, he assured me, he goes, that'll never happen again. I said, yeah, okay. Let's see.
Yeah, right.
We'll see when the kid gets loose again what happens.
2 carries, 13 yards already for Cortez.
Again, Luke Shrewby. I'm saying Shrewby. I could have that name mispronounced, so I apologize, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, if that's the case. Schrubbe. Landon Moore goes in motion, and now will go back in his position as the right wing back. Then comes in motion again. He slips and falls down as they'll hand it off to the tailback this time. It was a different carrier on this particular run, and they'll get enough for a first down for Eastmont. It's just put another bullet in the chamber there, Grant.
Gotta guess.
This was Cody Reister on the carry, down to the 24-yard line. Gain of 8 yards.
Seems like it doesn't matter who they throw in there. They're going to get a good gain out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So 55 is the right guard. That's Chris Villanueva. There we go. I finally got him. Just trying to see that second number.
Nice to see him in there. He's a senior also.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Moore again, picking his way around the left side, and then finally stood up and driven back at about the 20-yard line. Gain of, I'm going to give him down to the 19, gain of 5 yards. Again, after the ball game's over, we'll head down to the field and talk to Coach Michael Don and see who he'd like us to talk to. I have a feeling it'll be a senior.
Yeah, I do too.
I just kind of have a feeling. Colby King, we haven't talked to him. He had a couple of touchdowns.
4 carries, 132 yards in this game.
How's that for an average?
And 2 touchdowns.
Goodness. Man in motion. They'll hand it again to the Reister, I think. Up the middle. And, yeah, here you go again. First down for Eastmont. Gain to the 14-yard line. And that was 49 on the carry. Cody Reister. He's a sophomore. Wing back on the left side will be Escalera for the Wildcats. And did they get another quarterback in there? Dak Dixon. Yep, a freshman. How about that?
Wow.
Dax Dixon. He's a big kid.
He is. He looks taller than 5'10", doesn't he?
He does. 161 pounds. Turn, hand it second man through, and Landon Moore, I believe that's Moore.
Yep.
Not going to get much this time, as he'll actually lose a couple of yards back to the 16. Loss of 2 yards, 5:48. Clock running here in the second half. Again, if you just joined us, it was Eastmont all over the place in that first half of play. Another game of big plays. We mentioned Colby King, a couple of big touchdown runs for him. 38-yard touchdown run for King in that first half, and a 64-yard scoring run.
And his other 2 runs, 10 yards and 20 yards.
That's all. That's all. Oh, we got movement.
Oh, boy.
We got movement, and another flag going to rain in here against Eastmont. That'll be probably the only negative aside from a muffed punt here tonight for the Wildcats. 62 yards and penalties. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Together for Youth. I'd like to encourage you to dispose of unused and expired prescriptions excuse me, to protect your youth and the environment. Find a kiosk near you by visiting medproject.org. Joseph Lisson is the wide out to the wide side of the field. Of course, you're not going to throw it here. Dax Dixon. Oh, I said he's not going to throw it. What did he do? He throws it. Pass intended for Grant Johnson. Well, of course, he's a senior on senior night.
Right.
Giving them that opportunity. Let's see. Jose Espinoza Cortez just checked in on the offensive line. I'm trying to get them all in there, Grandma, Grandpa, aunts, uncles who might be watching. Again, the freshman quarterback, Dax Dixon. under center here. Handoff, running around the right side with a lot of room over there is Escalera.
Nice
and
run.
Escalera takes it inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line before he's knocked down.
9 yards for him.
And you know these youngsters would love to find the end zone.
Oh, man, absolutely.
And by the way, Eisenhower still has their starters out there, so it's not like they've gone to the bench here.
No.
Again, Dixon under center on a 3rd down coming up from inside the 10-yard line. Again, handoff is Landon Moore. Moore will pick his way to the 5, will pick his way into the end zone. Touchdown. 2nd of the night for Moore. 1 on receiving and this one on the ground.
Doesn't matter who they put in on the line either. Great job on the line blocking. And Landon Moore, what a substitute running back, if you can even call him that, coming in. What a great play that time, and a good drive by the reserves for the Eastmont Wildcats.
Definitely so. Now comes a little challenge because you've had your starters off the field, but you got a lot of the starters that are part of the extra point team.
Right.
So, hey, put your helmet on and get back out there, boys. 17-play drive, by the way, and the extra point is on the way and good. We will take a break, 30 seconds and come back. 3:07 to go here in the contest. 48-0 Eastmont on top. We're back after this.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Well, the drive was impressive for Eastmont as it finished up the 3rd quarter of a running clock, and then starting the 4th quarter, it was all the reserves, and we're talking all the way down to freshmen, sophomores.
Yes, we are.
17 plays, 80 yards, and an 8-yard touchdown run by Landon Moore. His 2nd score of the night makes it a 48-0 ball game. Eastmont on top with 3:07 to go. Well, I guess we finally figured out when they stop the clock when it's a running clock after a touchdown.
Right. That's about the only time.
Yeah. And a timeout. That was about it.
Right.
So Edgar Leon back out there.
Put your leg into it!
Oh, you got to have the one, right? Leon with the kickoff. End over end line drive picked up by Gutierrez on the return to the 10, 15, and then he is caught, and then he is corralled, and then he refuses to go down.
Wow.
He just wouldn't go down. Christian Nevers was the man who came up with the tackle, and hey, he's your trumpet player. There you go. A hero.
Multi-talented.
A hero on 2 fronts tonight.
That's right.
For Grant Olson. So the clock runs with 2:39 to go. I will make my way down to the field. And I don't imagine that Coach Michael Don's going to have too long of a conversation with his crew. I mean, they typically tend to linger a little bit. First down from the 17, you know, and the clock is running. I kind of wondered there for a moment, is Eisenhower going to come off the sideline?
Maybe they just decided, nah.
We're done. That's it. So the Cadets, let's see, do they have Moses Spurrier still out there? Looks like that's him. High snap. Nope, it's their backup quarterback. They hand it to Sartain, though, and he is ahead for about 5-7 yards. And the backup quarterback calling the plays now is Caden Sund, 6'1", 170-pound sophomore. Another sophomore.
Crazy.
Out there. They'll put the ball ahead to the 24, so a gain of 7 yards for Sartain. Under a minute and a half to go. Sund at quarterback, gets a high snap, turns, hands it to Sartain again, who is met immediately, and Ramiro Arellano. He's been on a few plays here tonight.
Yeah,
Makes a tackle for Eastmont.
Like you said it, Eric, other than the first 4 plays of this football game, Eastmont has not missed a beat, really, on offense or defense.
That's something I'll talk to Michael Don about afterwards, is about that complete game, that right. Search for the complete game. I got to think they got to be pretty happy about what has happened here tonight. Third down coming up. Back to pass, throwing left. The ball caught. Going to be good enough for a first down. Out to about the 30-yard line. And the catch. Let's see who made that. I see a 2. I'm trying to find the rest of the number out there. And that youngster that just caught that ball.
I didn't catch it either. I apologize, Eric.
No.
This most likely be the last play.
Yeah, definitely so. Again, Sund, high snap, throws out the flat. Almost picked off here in the flat.
That would have been a pick 6 right there.
Caden Harris got a hand up and knocked it down, and that will be the end of this one, as it is all Eastmont here tonight as they win it by a final of 48-0. We will take a break, come back, post-game coming up. Grant has the numbers, and I'll be down on the field. We'll do that coming up here next on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Don't stress, just save up to $250 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders.
Or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
All right, Grant Olson back in the booth. Once again, our final score, the Eastmont Wildcats 48 and the Eisenhower Cadets nothing. It was 41-0 at the break, which meant a running clock throughout the second half. And boy, the second half went quickly and not a whole offense, a lot of offense in that second half. Just one scoring drive, and that was by the Wildcats to make it the score we are now at 48-0. Let's take a look now at our final game stats, beginning with the Eisenhower Cadets. Cadets. On the ground, Moses Spurrier ends up carrying the ball 10 times for 29 yards in the game. Grayson Surtain played a good game, 13 carries, 82 yards on the ground for Surtain. Also on the ground, off the bench in the second half, a nice job by John Marcus, 6 carries for 24 yards for a total of 135 yards on the ground for the Cadets. Second half passing, there wasn't. There was one pass attempt in the second half, and that was picked off by Spurrier, so he finishes 5 of 21 for 60 yards and 2 interceptions. Catching the ball for the Cadets, 2 catches for 39 yards for Nehemiah Garcia, and 1 catch each for Javon Davis, Aaron Culler, and Mark Stevens. 60 total yards through the air for the Cadets for a total in the ball game of 195 yards. And now for the Eastmont Wildcats on the ground, and what a ground attack for the Wildcats here tonight. Gunnar Peterson, 10 carries, 81 yards and a touchdown. Austin Ruffins, he had 4 carries, 41 yards and a touchdown. Colby King, the big rusher tonight, 5 carries, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Landon Moore, a nice job tonight, 5 carries, 33 yards and a touchdown. The big lineman, Andrew Swan, had a carry in this game, and it was 1 carry for 10 yards. Also into the game, Julian Carter comes in, and he has 2 carries for 13 yards. And Aaron Escalara also came in at running back, 2 carries for 14 yards. Total on the ground for the Eastmont Wildcats, 324 yards. Meanwhile, Luke Gale, no pass attempts in the second half, 7 of 10, and he had 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Catching the ball tonight, nice job tonight for Adrian Ruffins, 2 catches, 45 yards. Jackson West had 2 carries for 13 yards, and Austin Ruffins a catch for 8 yards. Landon Moore, 2 catches for 30 yards. On the ground, 324, through the air, 96 for 420 yards total for the Eastmont Wildcats in this ball game. We'll take a 60-second timeout, and we'll get you down on the field with Eric Granstrom and Coach Michael Don right after this.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Welcome back here on the pregame or postgame show on the NCWLIFE Channel. It seems like the game went by pretty quickly, because it did, because Eastmont got up big and won at 48-0. And Coach Michael Don joining us here on the postgame show. Coach, I know you've been looking for a complete game all season long. I think you finally got that tonight.
Absolutely. Proud of our kids tonight. I thought they competed across the board, offense, defense. Even after some miscues, I thought the setback comeback was awesome. Graydon Schneider, muffed the punt, and then the defense got the goal line stand. We came out a little sluggish, called a timeout. Seth Stone makes a pick in the end zone, preserved the shutout. And then I'm really proud of our JV guys getting in at the end and moving the ball and getting a touchdown on them. So that was awesome.
How is this also to celebrate your seniors tonight?
Absolutely. We got every senior in tonight. Every one of them got to play, and it was good to see them get out there and get to play the game and, make plays. I think a lot of the seniors did a good job and made plays tonight.
Colby King is one of the fastest guys I've seen in a long time. Once he gets around that edge, and by the way, great blocking on the edge, great blocking downfield. Once again, it happens up front to start it, but nobody's going to catch that guy.
No, absolutely. Once Colby gets in the open field, he's gone. Not a lot of guys are going to catch him. And, I thought our receivers did a good job blocking down the field, opening those big holes. And he's a strong kid. He can run through holes. He's a 400-plus pound squatter at only 160 pounds. But so when he runs through you, he runs through you.
He's got the hair, too.
Absolutely. The flowing hair. I think it adds to the speed.
It does. We'll talk to Colby coming up here on the postgame show. What was that? 61 in the backfield carrying the ball for you tonight? That was fun.
Absolutely. Made the kids a deal. Eisenhower had not been running clock yet this year, so we told the kids if we get to a running clock, I'd let Swan run the ball. Or actually, it was Gale. Gale and Swan rock, paper, scissored for it.
Okay.
Gale won, and then at halftime, Gale said he wanted to give his carry to Swan. He said he thought he'd earned it, and I thought that was just captainship right there. And obviously, Swan did a pretty good job running the ball there.
Yeah, how about he kept up the average yards per carry, 10 yards on that one run.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to have to tell him no all the time.
Well, congratulations on the win. By the way, we've got another possible upset happening tonight with West Valley leading Moses Lake. That could make things interesting here in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely, it could be. And our top 4 teams are all kind of in a bunch, and we can all beat each other on any given night depending on how we play. And West Valley's showing that. They lost 2 tough games to us in Sunnyside. When you got a quarterback who can sling it like that, you never know what can happen.
Well, we thought this might be your last game here on this turf. Who knows? Maybe another one here.
Absolutely. We get a win next week. We'll get a home game, hopefully, and, bring up one of those MCC schools and see what we got.
Thanks for taking the time, Mike.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Michael Don joining us here on the postgame show. We'll come back and talk to Colby King. He didn't pack the rock very often tonight, but when he did, he found the end zone. We'll talk to him coming up next on the NCWLIFE Channel.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
Well, the Eastmont Wildcats knock off the Eisenhower Cadets tonight by a final of 48-0. Guy that packed the rock just a few times tonight, but found the end zone a couple of times is Colby King. Talk about how important this was for you guys to play well on senior night tonight.
Oh, it was very important. This just secures another game for us, and we move on to the next game.
Let's talk about your speed. Deceptive almost, and you got to be patient, but it starts up front with the big fellas, the big uglies as we like to call them. Talk about that and getting outside, boy. Once you get outside, you got to feel like nobody can touch you.
Yeah, I mean, once I get that outside edge, I'm gone. Nobody can touch me after that.
How important is that to have number 1 out there blocking for you on that corner, though?
Oh, I love him blocking for me. He just gets to where he needs to be and blocks for me. It's great.
So Andrew Swan carried the ball tonight. I got to ask you about that play. It sounds like it was kind of a plan. What happened there?
So he won a rock, paper, scissors competition. And so the deal was if he won, he got to run the ball. And so we gave him a play right up the middle, and he ran it.
So does that mean you and Gunnar and Austin have to put up with Swan wanting more carries now?
Most likely, yes.
Shut these guys out. I know you guys really want that defensively. Was this your most complete game, you think, this season?
It's the game that we played with the most intensity so far this season, so I'm very proud of this.
And there's a possibility of another game here in a couple of weeks. Moses Lake trailing right now. I don't know if you heard about that, but what does that mean to maybe get another chance to play here at home?
Oh, it feels great, man. I love playing at home. If we can get one more chance my senior year, that'd be great.
Colby, congratulations on a great season and the great night tonight, and go celebrate with your crew.
All right, thank you, sir.
Colby King joining us here on the postgame show. That's going to wrap it up for our broadcast. Thanks to everybody involved. 48-0 the win by Eastmont over Eisenhower, and that's going to wrap it up for us here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Have a good night, everybody.
Now handoff up the middle again. Peterson's got some room up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
This has been a special presentation of NCWLIFE Channel Sports. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Les Schwab Tires, and Sangster Motors. Be sure to tune in for more local sports right here on the NCWLIFE Channel. We now return you to normal programming already in progress.
Win the district championship.